Welcome to Punchboard Paradise, coming to you from the heartland of America in Omaha, Nebraska, where we discuss the world of tabletop gaming, the topics that affect the board game community, and give honest and fair reviews of the industry's hottest games. In episode 130, the Punchboarders talk about some recent plays, and then we get to the meat of it all, our top 25 games of all time. Hey everybody, I'm Clef.
Hey, I'm Chad.
I'm Richie.
Don't forget the Punch Bunch is going to be featured in this episode
sure.
too.
Absolutely. That's
right.
going to be the best part. All right.
Yeah.
So I can tell them everything they've done wrong. All right.
I think you'll be happy with them.
Really? Okay. I'm excited.
I got in. I mean, it wasn't all games that I would really like to play because there was a lot of family around, So I still like these games. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of lighter games during the holidays. Did you guys survive the holidays and get some games played?
Well, it sounds like we survived a little bit better than Richie did.
Oh yeah, you guys did better than I.
Yeah.
I'm just happy we're able to record today. I was
I
getting a
know.
little close there. No, we think it was Isla that originally brought home something from school and got us all sick. So yeah, I was laid up for most of it. I missed thankfully I missed the Ohio State Missouri game. I didn't watch a second of it. I was dead asleep with a fever the entire time. Wow. I rolled over at some point and Jessica had kind of like poked her head in and she's like, it's 3-0 at half. I was like, don't wake me up again. I don't want to hear anything else.
Because there was radio silence, and I was like, "Wow!" I was watching the game, and I was like, "Oh, Ohio State is backed up against their own 3 yards."
Oh yeah,
line.
I saw you had said something,
and
I was like, I just don't need to get back.
Iowa has a lot of experience with those plays. They could borrow some plays from Iowa.
Hey, at least you scored 3 points.
Yeah.
Not 0. That's
Well,
right.
at least we know we're still looking for a quarterback, so that's fine.
We are looking too. Finally, did you?
I saw they finally put in your backup.
Yeah.
In the game that doesn't matter. Yeah.
Well, okay, so here's the and that was 28 points had already been scored. But I will say, if I'm having to choose between an inaccurate passer who can run and an inaccurate bag of potatoes who can't run, I'm gonna take
the one who runs.
Yeah, I think that's a good choice.
But actually, the backup for Oregon is visiting Iowa tomorrow, so we'll
nice.
see. We'll see what.
The sad thing is, right now at the table, I mean, Clef is in. I think they're in the driving. Nebraska's in the driving seat.
Right. Nebraska won the offseason. Okay. We'll stop because I know there are people that hate hearing about sports.
Done with football, done with sports.
But speaking of, I played a tournament of Crokinole this Christmas season. I mean, I brought the table, and then my sister's partner asked if he could bring it with them to their ongoing Christmas and drop it off. So I still don't have it, but they were texting me all after Christmas about Tracy boards and other. It was just
Nice.
very cool. They were converted. They loved it. So
That is awesome. I saw the Schmidtkins had a little home tournament of the
Yes.
Crokinole there.
Yes.
I saw that too.
Man, I wish they could adopt me.
So right, it'd be great to be their
I'll tell
kid,
you
wouldn't
what.
it be? Oh
Yeah.
my goodness!
I would just love to see the Christmas card though with Richie as their kid. That would be the best.
But you think you get to play Age of Steam all the time?
I know.
And you'd get homemade honey and maple syrup,
Didn't his son do his top 10 or top 25?
Yes.
And Age of Steam was
Number one.
Number one. Yeah,
Yep.
I mean,
I was like, that kid has been
Man.
taught right.
It's awesome. It's
You
awesome.
got to get to work on Knox here, right?
I know I'm failing.
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, I had a little bit of free time over the holidays, and I mean, I just started going crazy and making YouTube videos.
You did.
I know.
You did.
I don't even know. I just said,
So crazy.
And actually editing them and putting them up yourself. I'm very impressed.
I've got the basics figured out. I mean, I keep feeling like every time I get a little something more that I figure out how to do the editing. So they keep getting a little more, but it's a little fun. I just started my top 100 of all time. Excuse me, my top 101 of all time. Yeah. Snuck an extra one in there. And really, honestly, if you probably go through, it's probably like 115 because I just combine games all over the place. It's my list. I'll do whatever one I want to. So, but it's been fun. I've hopefully a lot of people have said they've enjoyed them and keep the videos coming. So I'm going to keep rocking on it. So give a little bit of extra
nobody
content out
said
there.
not to do it. So
there's nobody who has said, "Oh my God, get this." One person said, "Ooh, a cleft face reveal," and I was like, "I'm sorry."
So you even did a review, and this was something we just got played recently. You even did a review of All Plays Bacon.
Yeah. This is, I mean, I had heard a lot of people, and in fact, James from Dads on a Map was kind of touting this game as a really fun game, and I got a chance to play it the other day for the first time, and I mean, I was floored. I mean, we did it. I think we did 6 players one of the times. I've done a couple of times 4 player. It's definitely more of a team game. Real quick, what the game is it's kind of a shedding game where you're trying to get rid of your cards out of your hand. And the first person to do that either is going to score some points or they're going to have their team be eligible to score some points. And I think the coolest part about it that I like is if you're playing teams, if you kind of win, it's not really a trick, but if you're the last one who played something and everybody else passes, you have an opportunity to play, or you can pick your partner or one of your 2 partners to play. And I really like that dynamic of, trying to, because if you go out first, you're not necessarily, you'll score points, but if your teammates both go out like last and next to last, you don't score very many points.
Right.
As opposed to if they go out, earlier. So you're trying to make everybody go out.
And the other team is basically playing defense if they don't have a first person to go out because they can't score points anymore, but they can keep you from scoring a lot, hopefully, if they go out next.
The other thing I really like about it too is I like the fact that everybody starts with 2 wild cards, 2 bacon cards. And it just has a good feel to it as opposed to this person, he drew all the wild cards this turn and, wins type of thing. I like the fact that it's kind of spread out and everybody has the same opportunity. And, and a lot of, I love Tichu and I love Chimera, but a lot of times you don't get very many bombs or, big hands that you get to play, or in Bacon. I mean, you're throwing specials out all the time, because the way the cards are, and makes it, a little bit better feels. It's like, ooh, like here I'm playing my stretch flush, and slamming that down.
Yeah. And then nobody can beat it. And they're just like, oh, yeah. So you feel really good. And then, like you said, once you've done one of those specials, you look around and nobody else can play. And so then you usually get the decision, okay, we wipe this. And now does it look like my partner over there can go out because they don't have very many cards left? Hopefully, maybe they have a pair, or definitely if they have a single, let them go,
Yeah.
So,
yep.
Yeah. Good game. And that's Sean Ross who did Haggis.
Yes. Yeah.
So it has that kind of feel to it too, which is,
I've never gotten to play Haggis. I think Haggis is just a 2-player version of it, if I'm not mistaken.
2 or 3.
2 or 3. Okay. Yep. But, I am loving Bacon. So, was it original name Bacon at the first?
Yep.
Or,
and then and this was his first printing of it, but Haggis is getting a reprint this year, I believe, by Portland Game Collective. So, but All Play still, I believe, has copies. It's definitely one. It really is definitely one to kind of have in your collection if you like card games. It's just like I said, if you have 4 people, 6 is its best because it's more fun to have those teammates, but it still plays great at 4. It's a really easy game to teach because the player aid's so good. Mm-hmm. So, you talked about all the specials that you can play. Sometimes with Chimera and some of those, it's confusing what a bomb is or how to do that. And you kind of have to print out player aids for that. 100%. But this one has a great player aid that comes with it and you can see it really clearly. It describes it well. And
I want to emphasize, it's not a bad game at 3 or 5. It's still a fun game. It's just, I do think it shines a little bit better at the team aspect of it for sure. But yeah. So Richie, before the comatose time, you got anything in then?
On Christmas Eve, we did sneak in a little party game called Fun Facts. And this was nominated for the Spiel possibly this past year. And in the game, we can play. We played it at 8. I think that's the top end. But you want a lot of people. It's a cooperative game. And the way that it works is that everyone gets a little arrow that you can write on with a dry erase marker. And it's 8 rounds in a game. And like I said, it's cooperative. And all you do is you flip over the first question. And it could be any number of thing, but it's going to make you write a number. Usually it's either between 0 and 100, or it could be, whatever. What's your perfect nap time? How comfortable are you with elderly people from 0 to 100? How many people at the table could you beat in a wrestling match? Stuff like that. And so the first person, whoever the first person is, they'll write, everyone writes their answer at the same time, but then the first person puts theirs in the middle. And then the next person has to decide if think that they're higher or lower than that person. And you go around the table and everyone placing theirs. And once it gets back to the first person again, they have the choice where they can pick theirs up and move it, but they can only move their own. And then obviously you're trying to get it to go in ascending order as far as the number. So if it's perfect nap time, if, Jessica's grandmother's there and she takes, 2-hour naps every day, and then her brother only takes like a 5-minute nap, we want him down at the bottom. We want her up top. And then, try to get everyone else lined up. But basically you start revealing from the bottom, moving up, and it's a point every time it's consecutive. And then you'll just remove the ones that are not consecutive. But and then it's just at the back, on the back of the rule sheet, there's just, a scoring grid, basically, like how well do you know each other, essentially. So, I mean, it was the perfect game because we had non-gamers there as well on Christmas Eve. So there's basically no rules explanation. You can just basically just start answering questions and go. So it was perfect for that. So yeah, if you're looking for like just a quick, fun party game that you can kind of rope in people who don't like games, because Jessica's sister were there and she hates games, and she had a blast with this, and starts up conversations. Especially the elderly one started up a big conversation, because there's a lot of people in her family who are not comfortable with the elderly. I don't know. And I don't even know really what that means. We didn't.
Wow.
We didn't dig too deep into it, but we were shocked by some of the answers. Yeah, fun facts.
Cool.
Solid little game.
Okay.
And that's by Jasper Lapp, it looks like. And yeah, I think it was at least nominated for the spiel, like you said. That sounds okay. So that sounds a lot like a game that I got tons of play on Christmas. And around there, because again, this was a game where the family could play it a ton. They wanted to play it. You could play it sitting all over the couch in different spots, and and it's mostly about yelling and arguing with each other. So my family excels at that. And it is called Ito, and it's Ito. Japanese. What?
I said Ito.
He got that one.
Pretty good.
Good job. So Ito is published by. Well, the designer goes by 326 apparently, but also Mitsuru Nakamura. And this is, again, it's a 2019 game, but it hasn't been released anywhere outside of Japan that I know of. And it's ArcLight Games, Switch Games, 2+ Games. Those are the publishers for this. But anyway, it is basically a combination of The Mind. It's a cooperative game like you talked about. It's a combination of The Mind and Wavelength. And what we're going to do for our Punch Bunch listeners is we're just going to quick play around really quick so they can see what it's like.
All right, I'm ready.
So I have a Mind deck, because this is how I did it. I have a Mind deck, and I have pulled that I have pulled the printout off of BGG, which has translated these categories, which I'll tell you about in a second. But everybody is getting one card.
Just
here.
Mind is simply a deck from 1 to 100.
Yes, exactly. Thank you for clarifying. So this game, The Mind, I've handed out one card to each of us. And now we're going to pick from among these 3 categories. Before you even look at your number, or Richie cheated, but
I've already looked at my number too.
Okay. Well, anyway,
give us your numbers.
Cards.
Okay. I'm going to give you, I'm sorry. I'm going to give you 3 categories to pick from for this round. Items from least to most useful in a fight. Worst to best excuses for being late to work. Or worst to best person to represent you in a criminal trial.
I was thinking items in a fight. I like items in a fight.
Items in a fight. Items in a fight. That's right.
Okay, so items in a fight. Okay, so we have all looked at our cards now. And we can just talk. We're not showing our cards. The point is we're going to try to play these cards in order based on the clues we're giving each other. All right, so Richie, you go first. You kind of spoke up for the category.
Sure.
What item does your card represent?
I think mine would be like a butter knife.
a butter knife?
Butter knife.
Okay, all right. I mean, a butter knife can still be very helpful.
It's still a knife. It's still a knife. Yeah.
If I put a butter knife in your eye, you are blind.
Yeah.
In that eye.
This is true.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to say a a heavy pillow. Not like a soft feathery one, but like one that's like got some memory foam in it. So like,
Okay.
it's got,
Right.
it's a sturdy pillow.
Okay.
Okay. All
All
right.
right. I'm going to say a hammer.
Okay.
Okay.
Ooh. All right.
All right.
Well, I feel like mine has to be
Be
the
in the middle.
lowest.
Or not in the middle. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Lowest,
His
Mine
has to be the lowest. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean, a pillow, it's still a pillow.
I mean, it's still a pillow. I mean,
Yep.
like I said, it was a heavy pillow.
Yep.
But okay.
Okay.
So all right.
All right.
So
Flip
all
it.
right. All right.
Okay. 35. All
There we
right.
go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. So,
then
Richie.
I'm thinking
then I
butter
would think-
knife.
Yeah.
next.
I would think
Butter
I'd be
knife is
next
still-
for sure.
Yeah, because a
yeah.
hammer, you can really do some damage.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Good. 43. 43.
Okay,
We're
43.
safe. Okay. Here's my hammer.
There's a
There
good
you
old
go. There we go.
72.
Yeah,
There we go.
72.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. So we played it in
not
order
bad. I like
35,
that.
43,
That's how good
72.
we are. So
It's
So-
better than the mine. for
It
sure.
is.
much better than the mine.
And so if you want to, you can play for life points. And if cards get played out of order, you lose life points and all that kind of stuff. We just kind of used it as fun and arguing. And when you have like 10 people, which we did at Christmas, it gets a little bit crazy and fun.
Yeah.
Basically, it was funny because my niece, basically, we knew she had a card lower than about like 9 or 8 if poop was included in the answer. That was just always a default. But anyway, that is Ito. I would say, unfortunately, I don't think you can really get it by ordering overseas or anything. But if you have a copy of the Mind, you can pull this. There's a not suitable for work and a suitable for work 100 kind of prompts, like what we just used that you can pull off of BGG on the.
But you could obviously make up any category you want to.
Or you
Yeah.
could, if you have wavelength, you could use those cards as
true.
prompts too. So
100%.
and what I like over wavelength is usually you get one person sitting there going, oh, well, I could turn the dial here, and everybody else is waiting. Whereas you go around the table, you're talking back and forth, so.
Very cool.
So there you go. That's Ito.
So before we get going, I've got one more game
Cool.
that I got to talk about.
All right.
And whew,
I think I know what this one is.
it was an epic day. So our great friend Joe Farrell joined me on a Friday and early in the morning. And we started our first, well, for me at least, my first Hex Encounter game,
Nice.
which is GMT's Downfall. Now, Joe had played a couple of Hex Encounter games, but this was the first time for me. And we started with the short scenario, okay, which was technically supposed to be, I would say it's 3 and it starts you in the 4th round, about 2/3 of the way through the round. Okay, so you're pretty deep into this 4th round, and then you're supposed to go to the 8th round. So it's 3 and like a third rounds. Okay. By 5 o'clock, we had finally made it through round 5.
So what time did you start though?
About 9 in the morning.
Okay.
So started at about 9 until 5. We got through 1 and a third rounds. And I loved every moment of it. It was amazing. It was, I mean, it would go a lot quicker now because we had read the rule book, but there were we had to check on this and we had to check on this, and you got to check the charts and then figure out how the battle system works and everything. But as we went along, it got quicker and quicker. And
Like an 18XX. It'd go a lot quicker.
Except for this was fun. Real quick, I'll say so the coolest part about this game, and it's from GMT Games, it's from the late, great Chad Jensen, and then kind of reworked by Kay Jensen and John Butterfield. But it is a 2-player only game. 1 player plays the Western factions, which is like the U.S., Great Britain, France. And then 1 player plays the Soviets as the other faction. And basically your goal is to try to get into Germany. And then there's different areas that are kind of victory point-ish spots. But then both players also play one side of the Germans or the Axis forces that are trying to stop the other one. So like as the Western faction, I also played the Eastern Germans who are trying to stop the Soviets from getting in. And then the Soviets are playing the Western Germans. And you have this initiative track of how, people go, like whoever's the lowest on the initiative track, kind of like Patchwork, is who the next player is. And you have these action chits that you have to pick from. And here's one thing that I really liked about it was a lot of games I feel like that are going to be like big war type of games. Like you might have like 20 decisions or something of, I could do all these different things. Where in this game, it was, you had these action chits and only a certain number of them were yours. So it was like, okay, I've got these two options. I can do one of them. So I feel like that, and I realize I just told you it took 8 hours, but it felt like it streamlined the decision-making a little bit more. I truly believe, that type of game, you're just going to play it for a long time the first time. It would get faster. We'd be able to get through more of it. Honestly, the game says it's anywhere from 6 to 18 hours for the game. So that's, it's upfront about the fact it's a long game.
Yeah.
So his partner, Kai Jensen, and John Butterfield reworked it a little bit, you said.
Well, I think John Butterfield did most of it. Kai had all the notes and everything that Chad Jensen had left or whatever. So it says in there, John Butterfield, he went over to do some play testing, obviously quite a few years ago, saw it on the table and asked about it. And Chad said, it's not quite ready yet. And then unfortunately, obviously with the passing of Chad, they still had all the files and everything. So then John just kind of finished the work or whatever of what it was and, put it in there.
Very cool.
It's, obviously you've got to be into war games, into hex war games. But for me, it was a really cool game and I'm really looking forward to what Joe and I are planning on, kind of trying to set it up, play a couple hours, just leave it set up and then come back to it type of thing. Is what we'll probably do in the future or whatever.
So do you think that this will spur the next evolution in Clef?
Who knows? I don't know. I didn't.
We should be documenting the changes, and maybe if we can get an artist to do a little pictorial. Yeah.
I don't know. I just play what I like, and right now I didn't feel like the hex part of it was that much different than a block war game. Same thing. You got chits, and they've got at least this one. For what I played, I don't know about other particular ones, but for what that was, I know a lot of people on our Discord gave some other suggestions of some good hex encounters. So maybe I'll go back and try one of those too and see. But I enjoyed it. So Downfall.
Cool.
All right, is it time?
It's time.
Ooh. God, I just am hearing the music right now. Oh, so exciting. I don't even know what the music's going to be.
Neither do I.
I'm really excited to hear what the Punch Bunch has. So this will be good.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So we are doing our top 25 games. We will just each of us go and do our 25th best game. And then Richie will read off the Punch Bunches. So,
did you guys write down your first game out?
My 26th?
Yeah.
Yeah. You got to wait for the video for mine.
Oh, yes.
I got all the way to 101.
Yeah, I technically ranked, I think, at 261.
Wow.
Number of games that I ranked, but.
I have it somewhere, but I just started writing down on paper and then moving stuff around, and I have it somewhere, but I don't know. I messed with this list for a long time, but I didn't look at any plays. I didn't look at last year's list at all. I just thought about games that I had a few plays of at least that I wanted to be playing right now.
So, that's a good question. So, Chad, you're saying when you did yours, you just did yours on a gut feeling, but if you only played a game maybe one time, not good enough to jump into the top 25. Is that what you're trying to say?
Right.
What about you, Richie? Was there some sort of a...
I always go into BGG and I grab everything that I've ranked. Everything that I've rated an 8 or higher. And then I toss that into Pub Meeple.
Okay.
And go from there.
Okay. So, Chad, you didn't use Pub Meeple.
Well, I've used it in the past, and I think I used it a couple times for the podcast, but I always... The list that I ended up with after Pub Meeple just never felt right, and I was still moving stuff around. So I just went from off the top of my head, not even looking at my game collection. What do I want to play?
Yeah, I always feel like when I do Pub Meeple, at some point I'm just like, okay, I'm just done with this. I don't even care. And then I just start hitting quick as I can.
I don't even want to
so
be here.
Yeah, I don't even want to be here. So, I definitely, for my list, I mean, I would agree. I would have had to play games more than once, definitely have to be a multiple time
Oh,
game
yeah, definitely.
before I could, at least I feel like would jump into the top 25,
And
All
before we get started, I do have to thank Joe Farrell.
Oh, yes.
Because he went last year, because basically the way that we did get our list, or the Punch list, is that we have them fill out a Google form, and which is essentially just like people writing out sheets of paper, a lot of misspellings. We really got to talk Punch about proper spelling, because
Can I just go into Board Game Geek and get the proper spelling?
they don't.
Okay.
How many of these did Clef fill out for other people?
Honestly, I thought like half of them were from Clef. But Joe created a fantastic spreadsheet that literally saved hours. So thank you very much for that, Joe.
Nice. All right, so let's get started. Let's just do, Richie, you start.
All right, I'll get us started here.
We'll get to me, and then, we'll go around, and then we'll do the good old Punch.
All right, I am going to slip in my first one out, which was A Feast for Odin, which was my
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
17 last year.
It
you
was.
could have just skipped that.
It was
Would've been
16.
okay.
It was your 16th
My
last year.
16th last year.
Yeah.
So yeah, just fell a little bit, but no, not. It's still up there for me. So my 25, which is basically like my gamers party game, and that's Cosmic Encounter. I've just had a lot of great plays. It wasn't PPCon, but it was the whatever WahooCon maybe. Yeah,
WahooCon?
I think WahooCon was the last time I got to play it with Dan, Corey, the boys. I think even Josh was in that game. But we had a blast. I mean, if you get the right group around the table,
Nice.
Cosmic Encounter is just an absolute blast. Just straight negotiation, using your alien powers, yelling at people. Good
Cool.
stuff.
I
So-
still need to play this. I mean, the last time you brought this game up, I was like, I want to play it. And then we were like, okay, but we got to find a time.
I don't know how.
It was
should have
be-
snuck you in WahooCon. Yeah.
I was upstairs, I think, playing something when you guys were doing that. But I think the last time we even talked about it on the podcast, it was like, I want to play this with you guys. And then we were like, oh, but we got to keep Clef out because he will not enjoy it.
Which Clef?
That is
that's
true. Who
Which
knows?
Clef? Who knows? All right. Well, good pick. My number 25 is new to my top 25. And this underscores if there's a new Chad, I don't know, just something I figured out about myself this year is I'm valuing stories around the game table and experiences a little bit more. And so this one is new to the top 25, and it is John Company, second edition by Whirligig Games and Cole Worley. And it is one of those games that, again, I still feel like it is fun because it's negotiation, which I'm really enjoying. I'm not good at it, but I am really enjoying. And it is role playing. Honestly, it really feels like a role playing game when you're doing it because you're acting something out. You're kind of creating this story of heinous people, but you're creating this story around the table and negotiating, and it'll usually be a play that you'll talk about when you're done. And so that's why John Company makes my top 25.
It's a great pick. So
Thank
very,
you.
very good. All right. So my number 25, I know is not going to be on either one of your lists because neither one of you have played this yet. And I'm so sad because I just find this game to be absolutely so fun and interactive. And that is going to be La Familia.
Oh man,
So-
I would really like this game. I think.
I think you both would absolutely love this game.
I had my chance. Chad
So,
messed it up.
That's true. I do remember that. So, but this game is a 2 versus 2. That's all you play it at is 2 versus 2. And you are kind of mafia families that are in Sicily. And it's really an area control game where you are doing different things to add additional soldiers to the map, or you're adding car bombs or drug factories. It's just doing things to try to earn money. And then you also have to put out these orders to actually make your cubes go and be able to kind of attack and take over areas. Just a very, very cool 2-on-2 area control game. This is by Capstone Games. And I just absolutely love this game. And yeah, guys, we got to get to the table for you guys to try this here soon.
Yes.
So
I want to run a drug lab.
so
I really do.
It's great to run drug labs. They make you good money. I mean, let's be honest. So that's my number 25 is La Familia.
The Punch Bunch. You'll like this one, Clef.
Okay.
Their number 25 was not in their top 25 last year. I think this one just had the expansion, or not released, but just announced. And I believe the Kickstarter preview for the expansion is up, and that's Clans of Caledonia.
Oh, that's right.
Okay.
Is their number 25, which I saw the preview page, but I didn't read too much into it. But it looks cool as far as what the expansion is going to add and stuff like that. So
I want to see that.
I haven't played that game in so long. That'd be good to have an expansion to try to get back to the table. So
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Good job. Punch.
All right. So my 24 is a Splotter. And this is a little small. So I think did you finally get to play Bus again with
yes.
Brockman?
Yep.
So Bus is my number 24. Just a quick little Splotter game. You got so many tokens, so many actions, and you have to be very mindful of how you use them because you can easily get to the end of the game, and all of a sudden you're out of tokens to take actions with, and then 3 other people at the table are going to be taking like 2 more whole turns, and you're just out.
And the order in which you play them is so important too.
Definitely. But yeah, cutthroat game, and you got a little sprinkle of time travel in there if you want. But yeah, just solid game. That is Bus.
And that's interesting. That's a great game. It fell for you because it was your number 21 last year.
Yeah, it was a little higher last year.
Okay.
I don't even think I've gotten to play it this past year, which is probably why. But.
Yeah,
I haven't either. So
that can happen. I'm assuming this is not your highest rated Splotter. I'm assuming
we'll see. I don't know.
Got some coming up. Okay, maybe.
that will that we were supposed to play that. I mean, when we recorded last year around this time, we were going to the cabin because I held up my end and got us set up for a whole weekend of gaming.
What the heck? Jessica was supposed to do that this year. What the hell happened?
She didn't come through. I'll let you know.
I guess we'll have to live with PPCon. Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, we didn't get to play Bus that weekend, even though we put it on the list. But it's a great game. And consequently, my number 24 is also a Splotter, which moved up 1 point from last year.
Ooh.
Even though I didn't get to play it, unfortunately, and that's Indonesia. I have not been in on a play of Indonesia, even though it's been going around. I would love to play it again, but it is of their designs. I even feel like it's almost more 18XX adjacent than which I've played. 18 or whatever.
I like Indonesia, so I don't think so.
So I really do enjoy this one, and actually we'll talk about our resolutions later maybe, but I've got a resolution for this one. So
okay, yeah, I want to hear this resolution.
Yeah, definitely. But Chad, if you ever get a chance to play it on the big map that Kevin made from Age of Steam Con,
that's awesome.
Nice to play on that thing. I need to make one. That's what I need to do.
I thought you did print out a...
I don't have a big one. I mean, I've got a different map, but it's still a small one. Yeah,
gotcha.
I would just like to print out the big sized map. It was so nice.
Cool.
Yeah. All right. So my number 24, definitely, I'm pretty sure this has slipped, and Chad will be able to tell you how far, but I'm going to say right now, I don't think I played it this past year, Richie, because I don't think me and you ever got it in. And
Santa Maria?
Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't think we have played it this year.
Yeah. So I still obviously enjoy this game. I think it's a very fun tile placement, dice drafting.
It's okay.
So 2 out of 3. All right.
It's such a good game.
Yeah, so we've all agreed that the theme or the production could be much better for sure, and I think it would be better received if it was. But for me, I still like this game. I still like the just the puzzle it makes, and I really honestly feel like it's, for the simplistic Euro that it is, it has a lot of interaction, because there are times of do I do this, or do I
how do I race on the Conquistador track? There's only so many tiles out there that you need to get.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, it definitely has some good interaction in it. So still has a fond spot in my heart. How far did it drop, Chad?
It only dropped 2 spots for you.
Oh,
so.
okay. For some reason, I thought it was
Basically
higher
the same
last year.
spot.
Yeah, okay. All right.
All right. So the Punch Bunch. This was a big drop for them. This was their number 11 last year.
Ooh.
It's now down to 24, and that's Twilight Struggle.
Oh, Punch. We got to talk.
I'm going to guess it's just more because we did have more responses this year.
Yeah.
And that's definitely a game that I don't necessarily think is.
It's hard.
It's either it's way up high on people's list or it's not on there at all.
It's hard to get to the table. It's a long 2-player game.
Yeah.
It is a very long 2-player game, but all right. You know what? It's still on their list.
It's still on the list.
That's
Yeah, it made the
good.
list.
That's good right there. All right.
Can't beat it. All right. My number 23, and this definitely fell. Chad will let us know for sure. And that is Newsfjord.
Oh.
Which is still, it's as far as Uwe goes, it's my favorite of his because I kind of get everything I want from his games in that little package in a quick amount of time without a ton of setup. Like with a Feast for Odin is just a bear to set up and tear down. Whereas Newsfjord, you can just get it out. You can play it with up to 5 people, and it's just very snappy and quick. Quick 7 rounds and you're done. So,
Okay.
that is my number 23.
Yeah, so that fell 10 spots, but it's still, I agree with you, it's still, in my opinion, much better game than Feast for Odin. And it plays well with higher player counts. Like there are some that I want to play at 2 of Rosenberg, but this is one that the 3 to 5 is great. So
Yeah, definitely.
Speaking of, my number 23 is another Rosenberg title, but it is actually new to my top 25 as well. I told you I really like. I'm liking experiences. I'm liking interaction and negotiation around the table, and so that's Bonanza. I really have enjoyed my plays this past few months of Bonanza, and kind of love the design, love the negotiating back and forth. I can teach it to a lot of different people, and it's still very engaging to me. And we're always talking about something afterwards. So that's it.
That got a nice reprint. I know Best Sobel did the art, but it's flowers instead of beans.
It's like tulips or something.
Yeah, I can't remember what
it's like called
flower
like
it is
oh
exactly.
tulips.
Nope. Give me my beans.
I love Best Sobel, but it just doesn't seem right. Like I just can't argue over a bunch of flowers. You don't know beans.
Did we play at Age of Steam Con? Did you play that
I did
game?
not get
You didn't
to
get
play that
in
game,
Okay.
but I would've
Oh, that's
liked
because
it.
you were playing that 18XX thing.
Yep.
That's right. So, all right.
Yep.
No, Bonanza is great. It's didn't quite make my top 25, but it is definitely in my top game. So
Cool.
That's it's great.
Yeah, it's a fun game.
All right.
So that's Bonanza by Rio Grande Games and Uwe Rosenberg, my number 23.
All right. Well, speaking of Rosenberg, my number 23 is a Splotter. And this is the Great Zimbabwe. I have played the Great Zimbabwe somewhere between 15 plus times, and I have won a grand total of 0 of those times. Even when I'm teaching like people who have never played it, they're like, oh, okay. And then they beat me. I don't know why. I love this game. It's just one of those things where I'm enjoying the game so much, I'm just not concentrating on it. Actually, I don't know. No, that's an excuse. I just suck at it. But anyways, I really like the fact where you have a threshold of a victory point total, and every time you buy something, it is going to increase that victory threshold total. So instead of 20 points to win, you now need 24. Now you need 28. Now you need 32, whatever the case is. And I just find the game to be absolutely fascinating. And honestly, it's really, once you kind of understand the game, it's not a very complex game, but the interaction is so good. And the one thing that I love so much, and this is pretty true about most Splotters, but the Great Zimbabwe, I think, is more than any other game. Being first player is so important, especially in the later rounds, because if you don't go first, then half those goods get dried up and then you're scrounging at that point. So, but that's going to be my number 23, The Great Zimbabwe.
That's a great game.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I think I've seen you play that twice while playing other games.
That's true. That's true. And also, I've seen him play it twice while playing other games and have somebody step in to teach.
Yes. Well, it's Mason's job.
Yeah, Mason's job to teach that one. Yeah.
Teach the hub.
All right. What's the old Punch Bunches 23?
So the Punch Bunch. This was, and Jeremy posted in, after Clef started posting his videos that he's been putting up here recently, Jeremy posted an old video that he did with Clef back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And I did not realize that you liked this game as much as you did, but apparently this was your top game of 2017. And that is Anachrony.
Oh, yeah.
I saw Jeremy did that.
I'm guessing that video is unlisted?
It is unlisted,
Yeah.
yes. Yes. There's somebody in the video that does not want to be seen, so we just did it for fun while drinking. It was a good time, and yeah, I watched that video, and I was like, wow, have I changed?
That's funny. Heidi Klum rated board games with you?
Yeah, that's who it is. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so Anachrony is the Punch Bunches 23. It is down. It was their 18 last year. So, but yeah, Anachrony.
Okay.
Just went on my sell shelf, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I just don't think I'm ever going to play it again.
Yeah. I
It's
mean,
just, I don't know why, but
I probably have played it 30 plus times.
Yeah.
It just is a point now where I'm like, okay, I've seen it. And I will tell you, if you've only played the base game, if you play with that Fractures of Time expansion,
yeah, I still need to play
makes
with
it
that.
so good.
It is. The blinking thing's
the
really
blinking thing is really cool. So
Yeah.
I will definitely say that about it.
Yep.
So,
All right.
okay.
Okay, so my 22, which was new, I think, last year. Actually, I think it just came out last year. So, but that is Ankh, Gods of Egypt, and that's basically has replaced Kemet for me.
Yeah, you
That's
had said
my-
that. You said last year how mad you were at Kemet because
Yeah.
it took forever to get it.
It just took, I mean, literally forever to get. I think it was in stores for at least 3 or 4 months before I got my Kickstarter.
Wow.
So yeah, but Ankh, fantastic at, in my opinion, all player counts. But it works especially well at 2, which is in my house my main player count. Almost like a little chess match back and forth. And you don't have to worry about the merge if you care about that. So
I still need to play this one, and given my affinity for like experience games, this seems like it might be one of those. So.
yeah, definitely worth trying at least once. So
And the only time I played it, it was Brent, me, Dan, and Jeff.
oh yeah, no.
And Brent and I with the minis were just like, I don't want to hear it.
I would
This
think
game is
Dan would be an
terrible.
issue at that table as well.
Dan wasn't bad
He was okay.
compared to Brent and I. So Brent and I have vowed that we're going to let Jeff teach it to us again and be good sports this time and not pay attention.
Or
to
Jeff,
these.
you can just play
So-
with me.
so-
Josh, I know likes it. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
Well,
you don't have to play with them.
There you go.
That's right.
There you go. All right.
So Ankh, my number 22.
And that actually went up for you.
Oh, nice.
One
What was that
point.
for?
It was
Oh,
23
okay,
last
nice.
time. So, all right. So my number 22 is, again, this is new to my list, but it isn't new to the Punchboard Paradise podcasts list. So, and I haven't gotten this one played, but I think it's just because there's so many games, heavy games that take time. And if people agree to play like an 18xx with me, I'm all over it. But this is another one that's really great, still great, from Capstone Games, Arkwright by Stefan Risthaus. So still a really good game. We just really haven't played it enough. But man, that changing economy back and forth and sweating who's going to undercut you, and are you going to get to sell the goods that you made, or are you going to be out of luck and your stock price is going to drop, and what are you going to do? It's still a really good game, and I can't believe I haven't played it in so long, but it's still a great game. So
Nice.
Yeah, I
Great-
need to get it
great
back
game.
out because I think the last time I played it was at that 24-hour thing at the game shop.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
wow,
it's
that
been
is a long time ago.
That is a long time. Huh. Okay.
Well, that's my number 22. We'll play it soon, maybe. Arkwright.
All right. Well, my number 22, and I mean, Chad talked about it. I think that games now that definitely give me an experience or things that I'm like, remember this. And this one is that, unfortunately, probably 2 years or the first PPCon, when I first played this game, the experience was probably better than it's ever going to be ever again. but it still is a great game, and that is Dune. It is negotiation. It is, card play. It's dudes on a map. It's trying to, it's got basically area control on trying to control these different strongholds. It plays great at obviously higher player counts, your 5, 6s. We've even played it sometimes at 7, which, maybe
a little
that's
too
pushing
much,
it.
maybe, but, I'll still do it. I just absolutely just love how this game plays. I love the different player powers that you have. And that first play that we had at PPCon with the face dancers and Mason and Richie
That's
going
a faction,
out.
by the way.
Yeah. Sorry. And Mason and Richie going out in the hallway like 3 times in a row. They came back to the table. Wait, hold on. And then go back down there. I mean, it's just classic.
And then,
I mean, just so
and then
much
we
fun.
failed
And then,
miserably.
yes. And then Richie being like, I'm never going back with you again. The next year they teamed up first round. But, such a great game, such great experience. And I probably, it's a little lower on the list, maybe just because it's not one that I'm going to get necessarily to the table as much as other games, just because it is a little more situational. But hey, I'm ready for a play of it at PPCon. And I know there's quite a few people that are like, hey, let's get some multiple games going.
Yeah.
So for that. So that's awesome. So, all right. That was my number 22, Dune.
The Punch Punch is number 22, an older Lacerda. The Gallerist was not on their top 25 last year at all. So moving on up. I don't know if it's my favorite still. I think it might still be my favorite Lacerda. I don't know. We just played Vinos the other day, and that I really enjoyed that. Getting that back to the table. So it's between that and Vinos. One of those two.
All right.
Both good games.
Alrighty. So my number 21. Is that where we're at now?
Yep.
This game it's basically one of my comfort games. One of the games that I'll just knock out a game here every once in a while. Probably, I think it is my most played game, and that is Roll for the Galaxy. It's just kind of what I go to when I just need to mindlessly play a game that I've played, over 100 times. So. I saw that, Clef. Yeah, you may like Race for the Galaxy more. More power to you. I like Race for the Galaxy as well, but I would rather play Roll for the Galaxy, especially when you start getting into the expansion. So,
What if it had wooden dice?
well, that would be an issue. That would be an issue. We'd be talking about Race for the Galaxy right now. Then.
Gotta sneak in there and take all those out for the one dice.
But Roll for the Galaxy, where was it at last year?
It was your number 22.
Okay,
So
yeah,
very
it's right
close.
there. Really hasn't moved.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my number 21, Roll for the Galaxy.
Well, my number 21, it's also kind of like a feel-good game, kind of like a mac and cheese comfort food kind of thing, like you talked about, where you can go back to it. It just feels good to play. It's a Euro game, but it's a Euro game from one of Clef's favorite designers of Euro games, and that would be Simone Luciani and Virginio Gigli and Lookout Games. So this is Grand Austria Hotel, and it especially is buffed up with the expansion as well. So I still really like this game. Again, I've kind of moved away from some of those, I don't want to say heads down Euros, but kind of like figure out the puzzle Euros, because again, I'm enjoying across the table stuff. But this is one of those that I really like still to this day. So that's my number 21, Grand Austria Hotel.
Yeah, I still really enjoy that game. It's a good game. I agree. It's kind of dropped a little bit on the same thing you said. I mean, it's a great puzzle. Just maybe it's not as much interaction as I want now. So yeah, but still an amazing game.
And the
Definitely.
dice drafting at like 2 or 3 is just awesome. Because I love dice drafting. I love.
Yeah.
So
Was that on your list last time? Or?
that's a good question. It was. Let's see. Where was Grand Austria Hotel last time? I don't think it was. It looks like it
Okay.
wasn't.
All right. So new entry in there for you. All right.
That's right.
All right. Well, my number 21, I'm positive was on my list last time, and I'm pretty sure this is going to be a dropper here. This is by one of my favorite designers nowadays, Mr. Alvin Viard, and that is Tramways.
Oh, wow.
It's dropped, and I'm going to tell you, I can't get it to the table anymore.
Really?
No one is interested. It's either, obviously we had a very long clinic time where we did all the
but
clinic.
that's about to start back up again. We got some lively elderly people
we got some
blue pills. Yeah.
And the pills I got to show you the new pills, they're kind of cool. Anyways, so I just didn't get it to the table. I mean, the last time I played it was in the middle of the night at the Shakespeare on the Green.
Yeah, that's still classic play. Also because it was on the Shanghai map, right?
Oh, that Shanghai map.
Yeah, I love that map.
That might be my number. That is my favorite way to play.
Oh yeah, by far.
It's still such a great game. I love the card play. I love the auction is the best auction out there. I mean, I don't want to say the best, but it's the meanest auction out there
crazy.
for sure. But I love the game. I love the card play. I love the route building. Everything is, I mean, obviously a lot of people call this Age of Steam with cards. Yeah.
I still remember, I think it was the first PPCon. I think we taught Adam. I'm not sure if Adam had played it before, but there was one particular auction during that round where I just looked at him and I go, "You just paid $12 to go last. You paid $12. You get nothing."
That
does hurt when that happens.
That's tough.
Yep.
That's tough.
Good old tramways.
There we go. So my number 21, tramways.
The Punch Bunch is number 21 is a classic Knizia. This one, I believe, got a reprint this past year. Maybe that's why it's popped up on here, because it was not on the list last year, and that's Raw. Was the Ian O'Toole just this past year?
That reprint.
So I know a lot of people were talking about that. That's a fantastic edition of it. So,
well, you have all those bidding tokens and stuff, and so with this one, of course, it likes nice chunky blocks all over the place and stuff. So. Yeah,
I still have the Wind Rider version, so it's just
Fantasy
the plastic
games,
and then the thin cardboard. Not
great.
great.
I played it the other day and pulled it out, and Michelle was like, "Oh, you have this version?" Sorry.
Still a great game.
Yes. No matter what version you got, it's still a great game.
It's a great game. Good pick.
All right. So my number 20, and we'll talk about. Are we talking about resolutions later?
Yeah, we'll talk about.
We'll talk about resolutions later. But I have a resolution around this game.
Cool.
Played it the other day with Clef and Joe, and we actually got to play the expansion that got announced. That's going to be coming out in coming out this year. And that really sparked some fire wanting to play more and more of Gaia Project. And I've been kind of knocking out solo games here every once in a while. Right after playing that, so like
on the table solo games.
No,
okay.
I'm not setting that up. I can just play it on BGA. Are you crazy? So that's a fantastic place to play it solo if you like BGA. But I've been digging into each faction. It's been fun, and that expansion was great. So I'm excited to get more plays of that once they actually release it. So
yeah, it's kind of cool that he had that. Yeah, kind of a print and play thing of it was really nice. So it's been a lot of fun.
Well, my number 20 is another one that's new to the list. And this one I think we've been playing more and more. And again, this is around the table and having some laughs and really enjoying what the game is doing above the table. This is from a designer that goes by CTR and Studio Turbine, and that's Schadenfreude. This is a trick taker, and what I love about this is it tells a story. It has a ramp to it. At first, everybody's just all friendly and messing around, and you want to get some points. Everybody wants to get some points with these tricks you're taking, basically. And then you see somebody start to get up there in points, and you're like, we're going to make this person go over. And then you start talking to your friends around the table and go, okay, let's push them. Let's push them over. Let's push them over 40 points, because that's when the game ends, right? And so you want to get not quite there, but push somebody over, and then it just gets real aggressive. And it's a great time. That's why this one is one of my favorite trick takers now.
And I almost feel like the production is thematic because they make those like it starts getting real painful, literally, when you have to take those tricks when you have so many of them.
So when I first brought my copy that I imported over, it's square cards, okay? And so I'm not a war gamer. I don't clip corners. And these guys were almost crying basically because they're my cards
all over my fingers.
Yeah, it truly hurt.
I had to sleeve that game because if I wanted it played again, those guys were not going to play.
The thing I love that most about that game is for the first like 2 rounds, it's just a good trick taking game. When it gets to round 3, it is an amazing trick taking game.
Yep.
And that's just so cool. I really enjoy it.
The wrinkles are the minus cards you've got, and then the second highest card winning the trick, and those kinds of things. So just a really interesting one to check out. I hope that it gets wider release so that other people get an easy chance to acquire it and play it.
All right. Good call.
Schadenfreude, my number 20.
All right. My number 20 is a Phil Eklund game. And this is one, the first couple times I played it, I think actually Joe taught it to me first, and then I played it with Dan and Brent, who didn't know the rules, and I was like, I don't know about it. Once we kind of got it down, and I've played it a few times since then, it has really jumped up there for me, and it is such a unique game, and that's going to be BIOS Origins. It's definitely, as we've just talked about, it's an epic game. I mean, you're literally starting as, I don't know, micro somethings, I don't know, and then you move up and you get free will and you're doing different things. But that all being said, the game itself is so cool, and you have 3 different areas, and you're trying to move up on each one to kind of get better of the different tracks. It's really hard to explain without seeing the board, but it's just phenomenal. I just really enjoy how it plays and how the scoring works. And just really moved up more. I'm positive that wasn't on my list last year. Oh, by the way, where was Tramways last year? We didn't, Tramways.
On yours?
Yeah. Cause
you had it at 7 last year.
7.
I thought it was your top 10.
That was a drop right there. So, but just different games that I've learned and, just start bumping things. So this happens to be one of them. So so my number 20 is going to be BIOS Origins.
Cool.
Yeah.
I like Eklund games. They're always interesting. I mean, I'll tell you this. I think BIOS Origins is way more interesting to me than Neanderthal.
I would agree. The problem with Neanderthal to me is Neanderthal gets to be kind of a dice chucking game where you're just chucking a bunch of dice where there's no dice in BIOS Origins. It's just straight card play. So I would agree with you.
Richie, have you played that one?
No, I have not.
Okay.
So the Punch Bunch, they're number 20. It's down. It was their number 12 last year. And Clef was talking about this designer earlier. Sadly, he has passed. But that is Dominant Species. Chad Jensen.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
There was one vote for Marine, but the Punch Bunch got it right. You guys picked the right one. Original.
Same game. All right.
All right. So number 19. Oh, Clef, you're not going to hear this, buddy.
Uh-oh.
So my number 19, I got introduced to it by, I think Jake introduces everybody.
Oh my God. Oh, okay.
To this game.
Okay, that's fine. I thought you were going to say the Chad one.
No, I'll spoil it now. Marvel Champions was my number 34. It is up.
Wow.
It is up there though. It's a big jump to start.
That's huge.
Wow.
But yeah, it did not crack the top 25.
All right. I know a lot of people like this game.
But Jake will be happy.
Yes, he will.
Guards of Atlantis 2. I'm excited for my my all-in pledge to show up at some point. I don't even know when it's supposed to be coming. Even though I'll probably still only play this
I was going to say, where are you going to play it with?
If I can get the Stuckies away from Frosthaven, maybe I'll play it with them. Actually, I think Knox, once he's old enough to play, he would love it. But yeah, Guards of Atlantis 2, just a little 2-player skirmish game, basically. I think it's in the MOBA, or not 2-player, two teams.
Yes, okay.
I think it's MOBA. Technically, I don't know. I don't play those type of video games, but you just have so many different heroes that you can be, and they all work. Just, the asymmetry of the different heroes is just a lot of fun to mess with and upgrade them as you go, and just pushing back and forth. Just a great, fantastic team game. And that is Guards of Atlantis 2.
I'm kind of interested to see if that made the Punch Bunches list, because as much as Jake has
I would say Jake does push it a
that
lot.
game, I would be interested to see if that jumped up, because I know a lot of people really like it.
Yeah, I mean,
I think the team aspect is what's most interesting to me. So I would still give it a try if the
Jake hasn't roped you in on a game yet?
No, I mean, there's always been like another choice, and
That's better. Yep, I'd agree.
and it's not that I didn't want to. It's just that there was something that usually was like, oh, I was supposed to do this.
Yes, you did. Yes.
Well, my number 19 is no stranger to this group, and it's another trick taker, and it's Skull King. By Brent Beck and Jeffrey Beck and Grandpa Beck Games. We played this a long time ago, and this was really the one that Richie was the trick taker player, the euchre player, and stuff like that among us. Mm-hmm. And this was the one that got our group playing. It got Clef into trick taking games. And so,
yes, it did.
so this is it's still raucous. And the reason that it beats out Schadenfreude a little bit is I can teach it to my family easily. Schadenfreude is a little bit tricky in the cards, some of the cards and what they do, and getting second highest and those kinds of things. That's not a beginner trick taker, basically.
Sure.
And Skull King is closer to that with some player aids that our friend Joe has made and printed out. So Skull King is still fun. It's great chaos, and I'll always play it if somebody brings it up to play.
Just for a little update, I'm going to have a Skull King trophy for PPCon.
Ooh,
wow!
We're getting a Skull King trophy, and I don't know yet, but what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to
have a real skull.
It's no.
Chad might know a guy. He works at the hospital.
Hey, Clef, we got a fresh one. I want to get a trophy that has the ability for like us to engrave names, so we could put Chad C on there and then we put Tony on there, and then each year I don't even know if we'll pass it around. It would be just like a trophy, and then we would put the name on it.
The next person on there,
yeah. And so I was talking to Joe Farrell, and I said, now, hey, if there's a trophy that you could have your name on it, does that entice you to play? Because he doesn't play in it because, you don't
play by the rules.
He doesn't like your stinky rules.
Well, whatever. But I said, does that entice you to play it now in the tournament? And Joe said, no, absolutely not.
That doesn't surprise me.
All right, Joe.
I would love to see Joe get really a trophy. Well, I'm all in. Like, I can't picture that. That's funny.
All right.
That was my number 19, Skull King.
All right, my number 19 is a new game to me this year. I think, Chad, you might have gotten this and taught it to me first. A podcast we talk about a little bit, Dad's on a Map. James, this is, in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I believe this is his number one game right now. But I really fell in love with this game, and I love the interaction. I love the decision making and just the negotiation of put your water here, and that's Santiago.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a great game. And I feel like every time it just feels different, because it's just different on when the tiles come up. I mean, sometimes you'll get big areas of chili peppers, and sometimes you'll get you won't. It feels different every time I play it. But so interactive, and it's quick. I mean, you literally can get a game in an hour and yet feel like a big box, type of big game. Absolutely love this game and look forward to playing it more and more and more.
Yeah, and sometimes, honestly, like I don't even care how long the game is taking. It's different. It's different than some other games where you're like, take your turn, because you can always be involved. Yeah. When anybody's playing, you're always involved. So like, I'm like, No, we're not finished here. Yeah. We're going to talk about this, like
100%.
So, yeah, good game.
Yep. All right. So that is my number 19, Santiago.
The Punch Bunch, they're number 19, another Lacerda. And this is this is the highest ranked Lacerda. So that means a game fell off I guess we can talk about here as well. But Kanban EV, which I still haven't played the new version of Kanban. I don't know how much more that has changed than the original time that.
There's just kind of an electric car module, basically.
Okay.
So.
So yeah, that's their highest. And Lisboa, so Kanban was not on. Oh no, Kanban was number 13 last year. Lisboa was number 9 last year.
It's gone.
And it is gone.
Gone.
Poor Lisboa.
Oh.
So, which I mean, I guess I don't see that many people talking about Lisboa as much these days. But
No, I mean honestly, I don't think Weather Machine went off very well
no,
for Lacerda. So I think just the talk of Lacerda has kind of went down a little bit. So that could be part of it.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. All right.
Okay, so my number 18, and I think this one definitely has got to be a drop. So yeah, Chad, you'll have to tell me. But Matai and I, this is the game that that I mainly played with Chad in person. But I've been playing a lot with the Punch Bunch on Yucata as well. But oh crap. I forgot to bring that for you.
I know. I was going to do a reminder.
Yeah.
Because Jamie even asked me, he's like, did you get it yet? I was like, no, Richie's close to dying.
Yeah.
How bad would you have felt if he did die?
Pretty bad, because I didn't have my copy.
It has your name on it. Someone would have gotten it.
Who's this Chad Jacobson guy?
And our good friend Jamie Roof was so kind to re-theme the game into basically like you're selling potions in a potion shop, and he sent a copy to myself and Chad, and I didn't trick her. I did tell her that it was Matai and I, because Jessica does not like Matai and I. But I was like, look, the art's different, because that was the one thing she didn't like. She didn't like the art. She didn't like the theme, and she likes Jamie's version better. She still doesn't like Matai and I. So. But she was at least, thank you, Jamie. I got to play Matai and I one more time with my wife. So I appreciate that. But yeah, it's still a fantastic card game. Just slipped a little bit.
That's a good one. Yeah, you had it at 12 last year. So it just means we have to get it played. And now I have a new game room, and it's in the basement. And so I'll just open the garage door. You don't even have to use the stairs at all.
All right.
Oh.
I like that idea.
All right. Well, my number 18, this was not on last year's list either. But again, an experience. And this is one that like some of my favorite gaming stories come from. And that is Tammany Hall by Doug Eckert and Pandasaurus Games. This is a simple area control game with powers that get passed out. I love that the mayor is basically, or the main city hall guy passes out powers each round. It's such a great way to kind of balance things and also kind of create more negotiation within the game. And yeah, some of my favorite times around the table were this game, just watching Clef and Richie betray each other and call Vince
one of my first
other political figures.
All right, Richie, if I do this, and you will do this with me? Yeah,
yep.
Absolutely. I open up my hand, and Richie opens up, and he has nothing in his hand. And I'm like, oh, that bastard.
We do need to get this one back. I have not played in a long time.
Nah, I would like to get this back to the table, too, because it didn't make my list, even my top 100 list, just because I haven't played it in so long. And I was like, I got to play it again to see where it would fall.
Yeah, it's I feel like it's almost like a beer and pretzels night kind of game where you just, it's all happening on the table. So that is my number 18, Tammany Hall.
All righty. So my number 18 is a 3-player game. 3-player only game, and it is a block war game, and that is Triumph and Tragedy. I don't think either one of you have had a chance to play this one either.
Nope.
Chad, don't. It's kind of almost it's what I would consider a Euro block war game, because you have a lot of card play where you're trying to take over areas, and then you're trying to build technologies and different things with your cards, and you have so many points every round that you can use to purchase cards or beef up your troops and stuff like that. But then in the end of it, then you're just taking troops in with your block war, and then it's just a basic, block war game after that. But it is just absolutely phenomenal. It's very epic. It's definitely a longer game. And just found out today that Dan is out for Friday night, and I talked to Jeff and Brent. We're setting up Triumph and Tragedy, so I'm excited.
Oh, nice.
So definitely just one of my favorites. Always enjoy it. Richie, definitely one of these times we'll get you to play it.
Yeah, I definitely want to try it. It was on my list of GMT games that I was thinking about picking up. But
Chad, after Seki and Maria.
No, I wasn't going to ask to play it, but but Dan's out for sure.
So these guys.
It's a little bit cold to go to the park.
So he said, well, he's got his kids.
Oh, okay.
All right. So that was, what number was that? 18. 18. Yep. Triumph and Tragedy.
So the Punch Punch is 18, new to the list, but it's an old game, an old classic Euro, and that's Power Grid. One that I still need to play again. I've only played it once. I was taught early on. I was probably too young of a gamer, and also the person who taught me didn't really know how to play the game. So I didn't have a great experience with it, but I would definitely want to go back and try it again.
I'm all for it anytime. I have this game and I never get it played enough. But strangely enough, our neighbors who kind of play some games, this is their big one that they play a lot. So,
oh yeah,
yeah. So
well, that's cool at least.
Yeah.
All right. So my number 17 was one that Clef has already talked about, and it's the game that I play with Clef, and that's Santa Maria.
Yeah.
Which I don't think is too far off from where it was last year, but
no, you had it at 20 last year.
Okay, so a little uptick, but
without playing it, uptick. All right,
I'll take it. Santa Maria.
All right.
My number 17 is Pax Porfiriana by Matt Eklund, Phil Eklund, and Jim Gutt. Spoiler: this is going to be my PAX game on my list. It wasn't on last year because I hadn't gotten enough plays of it, but PAX Renaissance, I should say, is probably a better designed game with mechanisms as a whole, I think, maybe. But I enjoy the crazy chaos and the card play and the stop each other sort of thing that gets going with, hacendados and stuff like that around the table with PAX Porfiriana. So that is, again, to me, another experience game where, I'm always laughing and threatening and joking. And so I enjoy it.
When we come to resolutions, remember PAX for me. So,
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's one. My copy has been played at PPCon, I think, the past 2 years, but I still have not played.
You need to get that copy played.
So a lot of people have said that, obviously PAX, Porfiriana came before PAX Rin, and he kind of refined some things for PAX Rin. So, I will say this: I need more plays of PAX Porfiriana before I can really say. I mean, it's definitely in my top 100, but not quite in my top 25 for me. So, but I absolutely applaud the pick. So, yeah.
Thanks.
All right.
Well, that is number 17 for me, Pax Porfiriana. Richie, let's play it soon, or maybe we can just get Jamie to retheme the cards on that one.
Yeah,
then, because the cards for that game are real bad.
Oh yeah, the art's it's
different. But, okay.
Okay. My number 17 is the only board game in existence that has one of our names on it, and that's good old Chad. So, and that's The Estates. And once again, this just comes down to a game that has amazing interaction, great negotiation, great, auctions. Just the game just is a great game to play. And any game that you can win with a negative score is going to be a good game. And I can't say enough about this game.
And you still have to try it. We got, it was Jake. I can't remember who else was in the game, but we finally did the play 3 games back to back, keeping your money over.
You did do that.
And that was fantastic. Fantastic way to play.
I've still never gotten to play that way.
That's cool.
Still this high, so yeah.
One of our friends, Peter, he has designed kind of an offshoot of this game, or it's kind of messed around with it. And I really have a hankering. I've talked to him about giving it a play. So there's some interesting stuff he's messed around with. So
nice.
I would love to play it. But it goes to say, from all the dumb, embarrassing stuff I've said on this podcast, it's amazing that quote is actually something decent.
Well, hey.
Yeah.
All right. So, so that's my number 17, The Estates.
The Punch Bunch, number 17. You guys will be very happy about this. I know, especially Clef, and it's a Splotter.
Yeah.
And that is Indonesia.
Oh, yeah.
I was not on their list at all last year. So.
All right. I'll get some more people to play it this year at PPCon. We'll get that number up. All right.
We get some more of those maps because we have the pieces. We just
You don't even need the game,
No,
at all.
You can go make your own game.
Just make your own
for
version
about
of
the
it.
same price that it would cost you.
Pretty
to buy
much. And honestly, it's going to look better than the original.
It will. That is true. That is true.
All right, so my number 16, which was I know it was a former number one for a while, and this is 51st State Master Set. Still a go-to for two-player for me, because I can get Jessica to play this one. It's just a great little tableau builder that's got some aggressiveness in it. But also, I actually enjoy this one a lot solo. And they've done a good job of releasing little mini expansions that just mix up the game. You swap out decks, and you can get a different experience. So 51st State Master Set is my number 16.
And that's only down one from last year, so it's still holding steady for you. That's a good one. And I will say now, with time in the rearview mirror, that is a great version of that sort of Imperial Settlers thing that it wants to do.
You definitely perfected it with that.
Yep.
One, so
exactly. Okay, well, then my number 16 is one that we've already briefly touched on, from Ananda Gupta and Jason Matthews, and that's Twilight Struggle and GMT Games. I have played a lot more of that this year, and I really enjoy it. And it's one of those games I feel like it's designed to be something that if you like the game, the more you play, the better it gets. It's knowing those cards. I honestly think, to me personally, the Cold War as a setting of all the war games or historical games that I own is not that interesting to me, but the game itself and the way it plays is great. It's just really great. My friend complains to me all the time, and to anybody else who will listen, that I poke her in the chest. Well, that's what the card says to do. So like,
there was one time I was playing that game with Joe Farrell, and all of a sudden he got up and poked me in the chest, and I about freaked out.
For Joe to do that, that's awesome.
And I'll say this about a few games, but in my opinion, that game it's perfect.
Yeah.
It is perfectly done. There's nothing in that game that is not perfect. Maybe the only thing it is a long game. You got to have a little bit of time to sit down to play it, but it is just absolutely, the gameplay is perfect. So
there's a reason that it used to be number one on Board Game Geek.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And that is my number 16, Twilight Struggle.
All right. My number 16 is my PAX game here. Good old PAX Pamir. Still a favorite of mine. I haven't gotten this to the table as much this past year, but I still very much enjoy this. It is now on Board Game Arena. So
and Rally the Troops as well has a version. Yep.
There you go. So that's I don't know why I say that, because I don't play it on there, but I mean I know it's on there. So if you want to play it,
I would say we've had PC, Jason Brent, a couple other Punch Bunchers. We had a game going. Like, basically, we were just restarting a game ever since PPCon. Wow. After we would finish game and then just restart another one. So
nice.
That's very nice. So, but well designed. I've never got to play the original PAX Premiere, which I'd actually really like to, just to kind of see what kind of the differences are. But it's obviously a very excellent kind of tug and war kind of match of trying to, factions and blocks and, everything that it's about. I just really enjoy this one. I don't remember where this was on my list last year. I think probably a little bit higher, potentially. 11. So, okay. So not too far off. But yeah, still really enjoy this one. So that's my number 16, PAX Pamir.
The reason it didn't quite make my list is because I'm finding out that I personally prefer this game at 4 pretty much strictly, but that's just me.
It's certainly. I mean, I've played it a lot at 2, which is maybe not its best with not the bot, just straight up 2, because my friend Brian really loves this game, loves to play it. But I don't mind it at 2. But I feel like I'm definitely at the point right now where I just tell him I'm not interested in playing it at 2, and I'm like, hey, here's another PAX game that's better at 2. So I've been trying to teach Brian PAX Renaissance.
Good. That's good. That's good.
How's that going?
It's a good game.
All right. Well, like I said last time, you had been, proud of the Punch Bunch. You're going to be disappointed with them, although it is down.
Okay.
It was their
I'm
number.
Never disappointed in the Punch Bunch.
It was their number 7 last year.
Okay.
So maybe you'll be happy that it's no longer in their top 10, and that's Root.
Oh, I'm super happy about that.
for their 16. Which I'm at. I mean, we had some Root bashing going on the Discord here the other day.
No, somebody the other day was like, Root is terrible. I was like, I like this guy. Loki? I don't know who Loki is, but I like him.
But it's still in the top 25, so I'm still proud of you, Punch Bunch. And that is Root for their number 16.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so my this one's going to be a drop, I believe, my number 15. And honestly, I think it was just pushed down by other things. But Barrage is my number 15. I think it might have been in my top 10 last year, if Chad can confirm or not.
Yes, your Barrage was number 7 last year.
So a little bit of drop. I still play it quite a bit. It's a fun one to play with the Punch Bunch, especially on Board Game Arena, being able to play with guys that I usually don't get to play with. But in that game, especially when you're playing with Joe Farrell and people who are really good at the game, there's I'll have a game where I score my highest score, and then the very next game, like I'm in just double digits by the end of the game, and I have like 12 points. So like there are the ups and downs in that game for me are quite extreme, but still enjoy it no matter what, and that is Barrage.
Yeah, I enjoy Barrage, but the one person who wants to play with me has played it like 500 times now on Board Game Arena. And I'm just like, it's just not any fun for me. So it's just like, I'd make a move and he just laughs at me. So, all right, I'm done with this.
Well, my number 15 has already been talked about, and that's my preferred Carl Chuddik of choice, and Asmati Games. That's Matai. I just love it. I like the cards do different things in the hand management of it, and I think I'll always want to play this. It'll always be somewhere in the top 25. I think, just because Carl Chuddik is very unique in what he does, and so it's not like there's going to be a lot of games that will replace this. I think. So that's my number 15, Matai.
Nice. Okay. All right, my number 15 was already mentioned by Chad, and this is my highest ranked trick-taking game, which is Skull King. Definitely, my top 100 is actually just, has quite a few of the trick-taking games in there. Definitely something that is more new to me as I'm kind of getting into some of these different trick-taking games. But I think Skull King is still my favorite just because of the experience around the table and just how much fun it can be. And, some of the most memorable moments that I've ever had, Richie slamming down his card thinking he's won before I got to play my white whale and, just some fun times. And I'll always love it for that. And so that's my number 15, good old Skull King.
Classic.
The Punch Bunch's number 15 has already been mentioned by Clef. So this is Clef approved and Chad approved, I know for sure. And that is the Great Zimbabwe.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Hey, that's Splotter number 2.
Yeah, another Splotter.
All right.
This is also not on their list last year. So
Good job, Punch.
All right.
Alrighty. So number 14 for me is Brass. So I just combined my 2 Brass together. And this is and I think this one just kind of keeps slipping a little bit. I don't know necessarily why, but
Actually, it's better than it was.
Is it better than last year? Okay.
Last year you had it at 18. So
okay.
Oh,
yeah, you must have gotten into play there somewhere.
Nope.
No.
Nope. I want to though.
Okay.
Still a fantastic system. And yeah, whatever flavor you want to play, I'll sit down and play with you.
Was it on my top 20 or whatever last year?
I don't see. Oh, yes, it was. It was your 20.
Oh, okay. I was just curious. Okay. So, all right.
There we go.
My number 14 is a game that was actually on my list at 16 last year, and that is 1848 Australia by Helmut Oli and Lonnie Orgler, GMT Games.
We should have voted on
Oh,
on how many.
how many?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
We
always
still
the wild
do it.
card. I am curious about his top 10.
Okay, I'm going to set the over/under at 4. You think it's going to be 4 or more, or 3 or under?
I think it'll be under.
You don't think he'll have 4 18XXs on there?
No.
All righty. Okay. So what are we at? Well, yeah, because we're already.
Yeah, I
at
would say we're already
14.
pretty, yeah.
All right. So I'd say 3. I think he's going to have 3 titles. on
Okay,
there.
yeah, but I
Okay.
think that's fair.
All right. All right.
This one's classic because it's got the Bank of London on there, and companies can go into receivership, and you can buy into the Bank of London so that if people have to take loans, which they'll probably have to do, then you get paid out for that. It's got a different story depending on the way people play. And I've had a couple of really great games of it, and some games have gone longer because I think you can have a quick game of this, which is really fun because sometimes that's when too many companies go into receivership or different things like that. It's a great game, and I used to only think that I liked Lonnie Orgler, Helmut, and Lonnie's 18XX games just a little bit because they were more operational. But this one with the Bank of London and loans and stuff feels a little bit more stock market-y a little bit. But yeah, that's my number 14.
Is that one I've played? Have you?
Yeah, that was one of the first that we played together. So that was.
I would say if he was just a traveling salesman, he would have sold me an 18XX like 3 or 4 times already.
They sound so good.
I know.
I want to try that next time. Just really dressed up and come to Richie's door unannounced. I got these encyclopedias or this 18XX game. Which one do you want? All right. Yeah. So that's 1848 Australia, my number 14.
All right. I remember enjoying as much as I can enjoy an 18.
You wanted to play that one again. You had said. At least you said at the time. I don't know.
All right.
He's a good friend.
He is a good friend. I agree.
Hey, you know what? It's all about the experience. Okay. My number 14. Now I know this is a big slip. I'm pretty sure this was my number 2 last year. And I think it was just so hot for me. It has cooled quite a bit. This is probably a better spot for this game. And don't get me wrong, I'm still loving it. And we just got a new expansion for it, so I'm ready to get back to the table.
Okay.
But that is Clinic. I love Clinic. I really do. It is a lot of fun. And especially, I mean, when playing this campaign, which I did with Ryan and Richie, was just, I mean, tons of fun. But I don't think it's just one of those where I realize it. I don't think it's quite a top 10 game for me. But hey, it's a solid 14.
The tough thing, like, because this was a topic of discussion in Discord maybe a couple weeks ago. When people like ask, like, should I try Clinic? I want to say yes, but like with 7 expansions, but also that's not a great way to learn it.
No.
But it is.
But well,
like it's not and it is.
yeah.
Like those expansions really fill out that game. And going back to just base game is tough.
Yeah.
Like I want something. I want some burn
It'd
victims
be
or
tough,
some
really tough to
elderly
do.
hospice or something.
I think if you picked out a few key expansions, I think you could do it where you just added like, hey, this is part of it. You've got to deal with these fire extinguishers, or you got to deal with, so some of the simpler ones, type of thing. But
and it's not that the base game is bad, obviously, but it's, I don't know. Those expansions just do a lot for that
I would
game.
tell you, I definitely would never say to somebody, go read the rule book and start to play it. I would
Right.
try to have somebody who can teach you, because how the floors are laid out and all that it's just confusing to start with, but still love it. Still will play this. And like I said, now excited to get this 6th extension to the table and get these new ones played. So,
Got physical therapists in it.
So, ooh, we can name him Chad. All right, number 14 was Clinic.
The Punch Punch is number 14. This is where I assume Chad was paying people off to put this on the list.
Wow.
But that is Agricola.
Wow.
Yeah, they're number 14.
Wheat.
Yeah.
Okay.
People know that this game is good.
Do they?
They do. Another game that was previously at the top of the BGG ranking. So
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. Okay, so my number 13, this was not on the list last year, I don't believe, because I think I just got into this last year. We get together with a couple that we have kids about the same age, but me and that husband play 2-player games, and we started playing Summoner Wars 2nd edition this year, and it's just a fantastic little 2-player skirmish game. You have just a ton of different armies that you can swap in and out, and it's just a deck of cards. But yeah, it's just a fantastic game. Been playing a lot with him. Jessica, it's a game that she'll play every once in a while with me. And then it's also a game that, Knox constantly asks about. He's not old enough to really understand the strategy about moving your units around and stuff like that. But once he gets there, I know he'll be into it as well. So that's Summoner Wars 2nd edition.
nice. That was one of the first games I ever got, actually. It was like a used board game that was at this comic book store, and I bought it. And it's so not my kind of game, but it is a good game.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, my number 13 got kind of a refresh. It was not on this list last year, but Clef kind of rebooted my affinity for it.
Nice.
And it wasn't even by playing that particular game. So this is Keyflower by Sebastian Breesdale and Richard Breeze and Hook Games.
All right.
So I still really like this game. I really like the auction and locking people out with meeples that you think they don't have to get a tile, and going over and being on their board to do different things. Now, obviously, it's not great at higher player counts because you can't see the tiles that people are building out necessarily, and so I understand that that's a pain. But man, it's such a good game with the Merchants expansion. It sings. I really still like that game.
Yeah.
And it's one of those that you can forget, and then you play it and you're like, oh my gosh, why am I not playing this more? So that's my number 13.
That's a good pick. That's one that just a few weeks ago I played it with Brian with the Merchant expansion, and I definitely want to get it back to the table more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never gotten to try the expansion, so I would really like to try that. But I obviously enjoy one of the new implementations, the London Key to the City of London, which is the same basic game as Keyflower, just has a little bit of differences. One would almost say
easier to set up.
It is.
Sure.
It's definitely easier to set up, and
Totally.
it's a little easier to teach people too. Just on, you don't have to talk about the roads as much on how to do
It's
that.
a bit more
which is-
streamlined.
exactly. So, but yeah, great pick. All right, my number 13 has already been mentioned by Chad. I think I don't remember where this was on my list last year at this time, but this is, oh boy, this is Negotiation 101. I mean, there is nothing. You can talk about any other mechanic that is in this game, dice rolling, this, that. It's a negotiation game, and that's where this game sings. I played 2 amazing games this year at DomeCon that I went to, and that's John Company. I mean, just phenomenal, so much fun, so good to watch somebody, oh, yep, I'll do this, and then them to stab you in the back. It's just, it's phenomenal. And where it's great to win John Company, most of the times I couldn't even tell you half the time who wins a game. No, that's not true. Okay, I really want to win too. But it's just fun, the experience, even if you don't win. It's just such a great game, and I absolutely love it. Probably the biggest down is trying to get the right people to the table to play it. It's definitely situational, and but boy, when I do get it to the table, and obviously our good friend Tim, he loves it, and he's going to be here soon, and I'm hoping we get a little John Company to the table. So there you go. So
Nice.
Number 12,
Sweet.
number 13.
13. Yeah.
John Company.
The Punch number 13 is one that I still need to I've played it, but we did not. And I think Chad was in that game. I don't think maybe Chad has gotten back to it, but the game that I played of it was a dud. But I think if we played again, it would be better. And that's Hansa Teutonica.
Yeah.
Not on their list before. But yeah, it's definitely a game that it sounded like when Clef described it, and getting in people's way and pushing back and forth and whatnot. It sounded like it was going to be my type of game, but it did not hit off that first one. But I think we've all said that was kind of a weird play of it anyway. So
yep.
But Hansa Teutonica for the Punch Bunch number 13. My number 12. I will honestly play any flavor of the game, but Great Western Trail Argentina is, I think, still my favorite version of it at the moment. But honestly, I'll play any of them. It doesn't really matter. So yeah, Great Western Trail. I'm sure we're going to be hearing more about it on these other two lists. So
well, yeah, and that's down just a few. You had it at 10 last time. You cracked your top 10. So.
All right.
My number 12 is Marvel Champions by Fantasy Flight, Michael Boggs, Nate French, and Caleb Grace.
I was about to say, because last year he had it. What'd you have, like
18?
Okay, yeah, much lower, and it's getting closer to his top 10. You still don't. I think 12 is fair.
It's not be in the top 10.
It is. Slightly.
There are so many good games.
I know, but you talk about Marvel Champions like you talk about 18XX games.
But look at the 18XX aren't in my. Some of my 18XX aren't in my top 10 either. I guess so. I don't know. Look, I tell you, I don't play other than solo all that often. And if I'm just telling you about experiences
you had like
around the
88
table.
plays of it this year.
That's a lot of solo games.
I know. That's what I'm saying. That's a lot of Marvel Champions solo. And the setup is not, it's not, especially if you're tearing out decks. And
let me tell you something.
It's a little bit of work.
If I had somebody there at the moment, an audience at the moment when I played those Marvel Champions solo games to play one of my other top 10s, I would have. So there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Clef is.
I feel like we just had the same conversation about a year ago.
We did. Hey, I was going to let it slide because I thought 12 is better.
I wasn't going to let it slide.
It's a great game. It is very thematic. Richie knows it. He listed it in his top 30 something. So and Finn will occasionally play it with me. And I enjoy that. But I really enjoy the hand management. I like trying now to build my own decks, though I'm not that great at it. So, I get some of the Magic stuff that Clef used to get from Magic. It's not the same because it's not head to head, but it's some of the creativeness and the fun hand management and card play is what's there for me. So I enjoy it.
Cool.
That is my number 12, Marvel Champions.
All right. My number 12 is another Splotter game, and this one has already been talked about by Chad and already been mentioned on the Punch Bunch list, and that is Indonesia. I absolutely will play this at any time, anywhere. I really love the merger aspect of it. It's just so fun to just be like, yep, those two companies are moving together, and you're like, wait, that's mine, and it's so much fun, and just I played a game here recently. It went 4 rounds. I mean, literally, round 1, we jumped into Era 2. Era 2 was 2 rounds, and we jumped into Era 3, and Era 3 was done in 1 round. And it was still phenomenal. It was just, I like how quick it can go. I don't know, just tremendous game. We've talked a lot about it, but it's a great Splotter. And honestly, this and my number 1 Splotter on my list, it's close. I could be next time this year. Indonesia has jumped into my number 1 Splotter. We'll see. So,
okay.
All right.
Very nice. The Punch Bunch, their number 12 is down just a few spots, which I'm actually surprised because I feel like Joe Farrell and Jake, they're out there. They're trying to, spread the good word that is PAX Renaissance 2nd edition.
Wow.
But it's still up there, and this is one I finally they just added it to BGA. I finally got access to the group because it's in a hidden away special alpha area. Finally got my first win, and I still don't really understand how to play every aspect of the game. But
I'll tell you what,
but I'm getting better.
I'll talk about it later.
Okay. Yeah, I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's. I mean, there's still for that type of game to be the 12th for the Punch
Yeah,
Punch,
that's
I'm
huge.
still, that's
That's
pretty
a
big.
big
I mean,
game.
it's
definitely.
yeah. All right.
And if you want to learn it, just hop in the Discord. Someone will grab you and teach you.
Yeah, that is true.
For sure.
All right.
So my number 11, and this is Great Western Trail's catching up. I won't lie, but still, if you put the two on the table, and it might be just because I always get to play Great Western Trail and I never get to play Mombasa, that is still my favorite Pfister at the moment. Yeah, and I will say, as far as Mombasa did not make the Punch Bunch, sorry for the spoiler, but everyone put in Mombasa. They did not put in Sky Mines. Sky Mines is inferior. I will say that.
You're not going to get an argument out of me. So, I mean, I like a couple of the modules that Sky Mines added, but I wish they were just in Mombasa. I mean, I just miss saying Max Bananas. I mean,
that is very
can't
true.
go wrong with Max Bananas. Who's got Max Bananas? Oh, I do.
So that is my number 11 Mombasa.
And I think that only went down 2 or 3 from last year for you. So
Nice.
well, my number 11 is Shikoku 1889. That's number 2 for you.
Number two.
From Yatsutaka Ikeda, and Grand Trunk Game is the most recent publisher. This is a 1830 kin. It's a clone of the 1830 tree of 18XX, which is kind of one of the first that Francis Tresham designed. It's more sharp edge stock markety, which is why I like it. And the bank is small, which is another reason that I like it, because it'll move quicker than for that reason. And you can see bankruptcy. We didn't in the last few games I played, but you can see bankruptcy in that game as well, which I actually enjoy. The other part that's nice is you can have a mine buster private and not really bust very many mines. So
I busted one, just went to nowhere.
so yeah, that's a good 18XX for me. Number 11, Shikoku 1889.
Okay. I've also gotten to play this one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I am impressed with how many you've played.
Well, everyone's, it's Chad Brockman and I, it's kind of like our clinic thing. We get together and Brockman likes the 18XX a lot more than we do. For sure. So, yeah. All right. So my number 11 is a game that Chad hates. And I absolutely love it. This is a 2-player block war game and my highest block war game, and that is Sekigahara. I mean, this game it's phenomenal. I mean, it is absolutely just the card play in it and how you have to manage your hand is so much fun. And I like how the battles work. I love the theme of it is just so amazing. I mean, just, kind of old Japan type of time. I don't know. I just love everything about it. There's just nothing in the game that I don't like. And fairly quick. I mean, you can, if you know what you're doing, 2 players could play it in probably an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours. I mean, it's just absolutely wonderful. And so where was that last year?
It was number 14.
Okay. So moved up just a little bit. So now,
yeah, I have to, it's me. It's a well-designed game. It's me, and it's my Joe Farrell PTSD. So
he did terrorize you.
Yeah, not every type of game is for everybody.
No.
I mean, that's why they make so many board games, and that's a wonderful thing about it. But yeah, so my number 11, Sekigahara.
The Punch Bunch, their number 11 is up. It was number 24 last year, and maybe it's because the expansion is much more widely available, and that's Grand Austria Hotel, which I think has already been on both of your lists, right?
Yep. Well, mine.
Yours for sure. Yeah,
I have not. It's not been in my top 25. But
that's right. Okay. Grand Austria Hotel for the Punch Bunch number 11.
Nice.
All right, cracking into the top 10.
Oh, I can't wait to hear the music for the top 10. Yeah.
There is no different music. No transition has happened at all.
In my head, there is.
This one, Clef has already talked about. It took a drop for him. It took a little bit of a drop for me, but I don't think I had it as high as Clef had it before. But that's just Clinic Deluxe. And Clinic is just a fantastic game. So much fun. with those different expansions. I mean, that's really the only downfall is that you want those expansions, but just to mix it up, and it's just fun when you got that elderly hospice guy roaming around. You got burn victims coming in on the 3rd floor, and you got a conveyor belt for some reason that goes to nowhere. You don't know why you did that.
You put a heliopad, and all of a sudden you're like, damn, I need to build there.
Yeah, I got to build there.
You're screwed.
Yeah, it's just the game messes with you so much, and you just make mistakes that then just lead to funny outcomes. But Clinic is my number 10.
One of the modules in this new one is just a deck of cards that has every single expansion.
Oh, so you can just do
mix it up
a randomizer?
Yep, you can just
Nice.
put out 5
gosh.
different
Very
ones
cool.
and boom,
Now I need to get it because I have this box with everything else. Like,
Hey, yeah.
well, good pick. Okay, so to start off my number 10, I'm going to go with one that Clef talked about just recently, and that is Santiago by Claudia Healy and Roman Pelic
Nice.
from
Very nice.
Amigo or Z-Man. I really like this game. I know one of our friends thinks there's not any decisions to be made, but I just think that's ridiculous. I mean, he's the same person that we played I'm the Boss with, and it was the same kind of thing where you're just trying to get somebody to go in on it. With
Wait,
you.
Josh doesn't like this?
No, Brent.
Oh, Brent.
Brent
I
doesn't
gotcha.
like it, which is amazing. Brent loved I'm the Boss.
It could have been one day and then another day he's
Yeah.
different. Who knows?
That's right. It was what was it? That letter game.
Letter
or whatever.
Jam.
Yeah, letter jam. It's the best game ever.
Best game ever.
The next
I hate
day.
this game. All right, it's not bad.
Yeah. So Santiago, it's the king of negotiation for me, and I love it. That's my number 10.
So my number 10 is I kind of feel when I talk about like a Euro game with, very little player interaction, it's just kind of more of a heads down kind of Euro. Now I feel like this has a lot of interaction, but I feel like this is maybe one of my highest rated, just pure Euros. And I tell you, this game, every time I play it, I just love the puzzle, but I love where do I stop on this track as I'm going around? Because I'm worried my opponent's going to jump up and grab something, and that's heaven and ale. I don't know what it is about this game. It seems so odd when I look at my top 10. Heaven and ale is like, where are you coming from?
And I feel like you didn't even rate it that high when we rated it originally.
I would agree with you. I think
thought
at
you were-
first I wasn't all that.
Yeah, I
like
thought
a
you were
3
the
or
lowest
4.
of the three of us.
Yeah.
For sure.
It
Yeah.
very well could be, but just over time, Brockman, the other day we were just, hey, we had nothing. We were end of the night. And he's like, hey, let's play Heaven and Ale. We played it back to back. It's just so good. I taught that to Brian the other day and he loved it. He actually understood that one. It's post packs were in, but I just love this game. And it's just that Euro that is just going to be one of the games that I just am going to continue to love over time. So I would assume it's probably pretty close to wherever it was.
It's exactly the same spot.
Same spot. There we go.
Same spot. Same spot.
Same spot. Consistency. That's what they call me. McClef Consistent Hayworth,
Yeah,
baby.
that's what they say. Well, the Punch Bunch is also consistent. This was their number 10 last year. It's their number 10 this year. It is insulted constantly by Chad, even though he claims he likes this game, and that is Concordia.
Broccoli.
This is such a thing. Even on our Discord, people will take a picture of Concordia and there'll be like 10 broccoli emojis under it. It's like, oh my goodness.
Like anybody who doesn't know anything about us would be like, why are they playing broccoli?
I know what a peach is, but what the hell is broccoli?
I mean, eggplant would make sense.
Oh, Lord.
So a good choice, good choice, Punch Bunch.
Yes, I agree.
All right, and then number 9 is where we're at. My number 9 is Concordia. So,
There it is.
Wow.
and I think it's about this close to the same. I don't know where it's at. No, it's up a little bit. I think I had it as my number 14 last year.
Yeah, it was 14.
Yeah, so just up a little bit. I love that they still support it. A new map just came out.
Yeah.
I just got it in the mail. I haven't even read the rules for it. It does have a volcano.
Oh,
in it this
you
time,
gotta
so,
like that.
Yeah. So I'm excited to try that out. And the team version is still, I think, my favorite way to play the game.
I agree.
Even though Chad and I did not mesh well as a
I was
team.
going to say mine did not. Concordia did not make my top 25 this year because then we were like, put it on the list. You know, last year with this thing, put it on Cabin Con, and then Richie and I promptly played it, and I was on the same team as Richie, and he played so poorly that it went off my top 25.
Richie played so poorly.
I say he didn't do that much better. I would say that. So Concordia, my number 9.
Good pick. My number 9. Tramways. We've already talked about it by Alvin Biard, but I just love the meanness. Like Clef said, the Shanghai board is the best way to play, but the auction is crazy, and it's so much fun. And I love the hand management too. Like it gives me the feel sometimes of Age of Steam, but it's got that hand management in there, and I really dig hand management in games now, and that is one of the things that attracts me about this game.
Nice.
So that is my number 9, Tramways.
We got to get that to the table here.
For sure.
Yes.
Okay. All right. My number 9 is my highest rated splotter, and that's going to be Food Chain Magnate. So
right.
Probably a little bit
Nice.
down from where it was. I played it a couple of times over the past year, and I still love this game. I still love all the modules that you can play with the Ketchup expansion. I still love the interaction, trying to steal away somebody's, order is just still so much fun. It's still just an absolutely amazing game. There's just 8 games better. So number 9 is Food Chain Magnate.
That's a good one.
Yeah, good game. The Punch Punch, they're number 9. It was number 22 last year.
Ooh, a big jump.
Yep, big jump. Lightest game on the list. Might float off the table. And that's Ark Nova.
So disappointed.
Hey, and the Marine expansion's a good expansion if you like that game. So,
I haven't played with the Marine expansion yet. I actually
me
played I played a game with Jake and Richard. And I still enjoy Ark Nova. It's not in my top 25, but I don't think I would turn down and play.
Right.
So
Well, Steph likes it, and it's a game that I don't mind playing with her. So,
yeah.
And the Marine expansion is nice because it even though it adds extra cards, it shoves cards off the row. So like you're not worried about card draw, even though they added extras. So I like that. All right.
Alrighty. My number 8 is a game that's been, I think, in my top 10 for a while. Although I don't know, Chad, you'll have to let me know where this was last year. It may not have been in my top 10. And that's Nippon. From What's Your Game, and where is our other game that we're looking for? But it's still one of my. I think it is my favorite. It is my favorite from them, and it might just be. I don't know because I'm good at the game, but
Yeah,
I think that's part of
You
it.
are very good.
But I'm
Very
not.
good.
I'm not that great at Madeira, so it doesn't get played as much as I get to play Nippon. So that's why it's probably been pumped up this high. So
Well, it was number 11 last year. So
okay, so yeah, just right.
still
outside
liking
of
it.
Yeah.
And speaking of a Kickstarter game that may or may not come.
Sure.
Okay. I realized the other day I went in because the rules are out there for the expansion.
Oh yeah.
And I just went and I just copied every 4 out of the 5 modules.
We can just do.
We can just play.
Oh, okay. All
I
right.
mean, seriously, we can just play them because it's all right there. Just have
We
to
just
do like
gotta
a
come
little
up with
print
our
and
own
play type of thing.
pieces,
The
yeah.
only one that I couldn't do is like the one with all the cards because then all the cards aren't
Right.
showing or whatever. But otherwise, so I'm just going to do that. So that way,
yeah,
'cause
I think that's probably what we're going
I
to do.
keep trying to say
So
I'm
is
going to
it-
play it once the Kickstarter comes in. Well,
I'm guessing on BGG. Is that where they have the rule book or no?
No, it's on What's Your Game's website.
Oh, it's on there. They have a website still.
They got a website still.
Wonder who's paying for that domain.
We are.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, they're at the beach. But so we're going to play that with the expansion.
Okay. Well,
All
I'm
right?
excited now. Yeah.
All right.
So that's my number 8 Nippon.
My number 8 is the third, if you're counting, the third 18XX, and that is
should have went 4.
that is The Old Prince 1871 by Lucas Boyd. Now, technically, this is a print and play game, but the reason I like this game is because there's such variable setups. And it's very interesting when you get to play which kind of companies you're starting, because you can basically be the I think it's called the bank, if I'm remembering right. And that player they get shares in every company and they can slow play the game. Well, the rest of the group is trying to make as much money as they can, fast as they can, and push the game forward. So it's kind of got that also almost asymmetrical gameplay to it. And I really like how that turns out. I've also tried to, I can't remember what the actual thing is, but where you kind of combine two companies is kind of a special thing you can do in this game. And I was finally able to do that. I don't think it was a successful play, but I was able to finally make that happen. So yeah, anyway, the Old Prince is still a game that I'm getting a lot more plays in because it's a faster time and it's got a variable setup, so people want to try to play it more often. And so I'm really enjoying it. That's my number 8, the Old Prince.
That's also the first one that I have not played of the 18xx's that he's mentioned.
Oh, you got it. It's like a bingo
That was
card.
the one where at
Cabin Con.
At Cabin Con, where we played. I think we played 3 games in the amount of time.
We played Route, Great Western Trail,
and Great Western Trail, Argentina.
Argentina, and they still weren't done.
They still weren't done. No.
So, but, and nothing wrong with long games. Just,
I mean, you played 2 rounds of a game
not
from
even
9
2
to 5.
rounds. Yeah. 2 rounds. All right. My number 8 is a game that has been one of my consistent games that has been in my top 10 for years now, which says a lot for it. And it is Nations. I still think this is just literally one of the best games ever made. I love the interaction and the card play. And this is definitely one of those games that we were talking about some game earlier that the more you play it, Twilight Struggle, Nations to me is on that level where I don't need to like look at the cards and be like, oh, what does this card do? You know, I know every card and I know, how that's going to work and how valuable that card is, and there's a little bit more cat and mouse when I play with, specifically like Ryan and Corey, who know the game as well as they do. But yet I still love teaching this to other people so that I can, get them involved. And, I've played some with Richie, it's such a great game. I just absolutely I just love it. So
yeah, it's intimidating playing with them, him and Corey and Ryan. They start talking about they get into the decimal points as far as how much a card is worth.
Card.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm playing with Magic players. It's like, oh yeah, that's totally not worth the cost of that card.
Yeah.
And I wonder that couple that you talked into buying my copy at the garage sale.
I wonder how that's going.
He talked them out of getting Nations, the dice game.
Well,
and getting just Nations.
Oh, man.
I was like, and they seem fairly new to gaming. So, but I really did want that game sold so that I could, because they were supposed to be coming out with the 2nd edition. So
hey, I did you good.
You did me good, yeah.
And I got them a better game that they're probably never going to play. They're probably going to look at that rule book and be like, why did we buy this?
Well, they're not going to call them babies, I bet you.
Yeah, probably not.
Hey, next spring when we have the garage sale again, maybe they'll come and maybe we'll be able to ask them.
Hopefully,
say, hey,
all right.
Hopefully we can give them an update on that.
Maybe they'll be trying to do a return.
No returns. The Punch Bunch. They're number 8. This is the one game that was spelled no less than 10 different ways, which PAX Premier 2nd edition. That Premier part. There was a lot of different spellings. We got to work on that Punch Bunch because that was the main headache of putting this list together was when I got to the chunk of PAX Premier that was spelled
That's like
incorrectly.
An easy one to spell.
No less than 10 different ways that it was spelled. Wow. But a great game. And
good pick.
For their and it's up. So last year it was their number 14. So
nice.
Hey, 2 PAX games.
2 PAX games. Yeah.
Top 25 is amazing. So great job.
Great.
All right.
Alrighty, so we're on to our number 7s.
Yes, sir.
So my number 7, it was my number 4 last year, and that's great. Our Grand Austria Hotel, and it's. The expansion really did a lot for me.
Right.
Getting that back to the table, and it's one that Jessica loves as well. That's one of our kind of early Euros that we played together. So it's one that I can easily get to the table, and I get played quite a bit. So Grand Austria Hotel.
Nice.
Yep.
Well, my number 7 is the highest game from Jeroen Douwman and Joris Versinga, and that is The Great Zimbabwe. So
All right.
that's, again, what Clef said about it. I mean, it's classic. Actually, I was just touching base with the guy who originally taught us the game back at Geekway several years ago.
Sean.
Yeah, our friend
nice.
Sean.
Awesome.
And so, yeah, I just love the variable win conditions. And it actually, in some ways, it kind of feels like a Euro in some ways, but then it's not a Euro at all because you are that auction at the beginning is so tense with putting cows on the placards and getting to the things before somebody else can, you know, the different hubs and stuff.
It's funny because I was having this discussion with a couple people the other day about, you know, what is a Euro game?
Right.
And honestly, I mean, most Splotters are Euro games. They're just not what a lot of people think of as a Euro game. Like, you know, like Grand Austria Hotel, that is a Euro game, you know, type of thing. But where it goes from there, it's you know, everything is so, you know, just
interactive,
so,
in your face. It's way more in your face than a lot of Euros are.
Yeah,
so,
yep.
But yeah, that's my number 7, The Great Zimbabwe.
Yeah, great pick. That's a great game.
Thank you.
My number 7, we've already discussed it. This game is absolutely, to me, a perfect 2-player game, and that is Twilight Struggle. The game's just perfect.
Whoop, whoop.
We've already really discussed it, so I won't say anything more.
All
I'll
right,
just poke you in the chest.
The Punch Bunch, their number 7, is a classic, kind of like a classic couples game, I would say. You can definitely play it with more, but I think it shines at 2-player, and that's Castles of Burgundy.
I knew as soon as you said classic couples. Yeah, good game.
And this one, I know quite a few of the Punch Bunch went all in on the Awakened Realms reprint with the big miniatures and the bakelite tiles.
Anybody
and stuff.
around here get it? I would
think Michelle would have.
Did Brian? I don't know. Jinx.
No.
I thought maybe. I mean,
it just seems something like
Caleb
Michelle
was talking to me about it. Caleb, I think, got it. So
yeah,
I don't know. Be interested. I'd be interested
just to see
it, to play it or whatever. But yeah, okay,
for sure. All right, so we're on to our number 6. Number 6 was my number 3 last year, and that's it just got pushed down. We talked about this earlier. PAX Premier 2nd Edition. I've played it a ton this year. Still love it. It just got pushed down by other games. So
okay.
I think of my number 6 as one of the granddaddies because it influenced a genre. It wasn't the first, but it influenced a genre coming after it, and that's Agricola from Uwe Rosenberg and Lookout Games. Now I think it is. It's just such a classic game, and I love that the cards and the hand management that you can really plan all those the cards that you want to play even before you start. And it is interactive. For a Euro, I feel like it's interactive, especially at 2 players, because I can look across the table and see that you really want to take wood next turn, and I'll take your wood, you know? So it's still great to me, and Stephanie and I love playing it together. And that is Agricola, my number 6.
She doesn't have a problem eating the animals? I feel like that she wouldn't like eating the
animals.
She
has tried to go vegan, but it doesn't work in Agricola. So, and I know she'd probably enjoy Caverna more, but I'm loath to teach it to her because I like Agricola a lot more. She's like, I'm going to eat this ruby every turn.
Okay. Before I do my number 6, I almost forgot about this, that I did this at work one day. And I want to play a little game with you guys. Okay?
Oh, my gosh.
And I'm going to start to read some things off, and I want you to tell me which game this specifically is, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready? Okay. You're going to be making multiple trips to an end of a trail, kind of doing a rondelle.
Okay.
You're going to hire workers.
Okay.
You're going to have some neutral buildings that you're going to stop at and do actions.
Yep.
You're going to have hazards that you go over that have green hands and black hands, and you're going to have to pay some money.
Yep.
You're going to be building a deck. Okay.
Okay.
You're going to be taking actions on those neutral buildings. I already said that there. You're going to build your own buildings. Jump in any time if you can name.
Great Western Trail.
Oh, but which one?
We'll keep going.
Okay. All right. You're going to have auxiliary actions, double auxiliary actions. You're going to have a movement, and a certain number of points of movement that you're going to have. You're going to have objective cards. Some of them are going to
Can
give
we
you
jump to animal?
What he's going to say is how much
that
they're
they're all the
alike,
same.
and this is an
Oh,
expansion.
wait a minute.
understand that.
I still got a long way to go here. So next time somebody says, "Oh, they're so different," they are not that different. I have an entire page here of all the mechanisms that are the exact same in all 4 of them. All right?
You need to be fired.
On
from
my
your
best
actual
day,
job.
on my best day,
about?
on my best day at work, I would never have time for that.
Well,
Okay.
That was a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I think I just very much proved my point
I was-
that it's the same game.
I was really wishing that was a poem. I thought it might
know,
have been
yes.
a poem. Like I
Just
thought it was
expansions.
a poem about Agricola, no less, because it had nothing to do with Agricola. All right. Well, I hope your number 6 has something to do with.
Number 6 is Great Western Trail.
Okay.
All versions.
Which one?
Absolutely. All versions. All 4. The same. They're
Great.
just expansions.
You've made your.
What's
of
your
an
favorite one,
amazing
though?
game. I don't have one. They all give me
You definitely, there has to be one that you prefer over the other.
no. I
Well, next
enjoy
time we'll
playing
say that.
all-
Next time we'll say that.
all
Clef,
expansions of it. I
Clef,
enjoy.
let's play Great Western Trail.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Which
So
one?
Great
Which one?
Western, first
Which
edition
one?
Great Western Trail with the first edition North to the Rails.
Let's do it.
You,
I don't
You
care.
don't prefer?
No.
Okay.
No,
There's
I
no
don't.
ranking of those.
There's no, I can't rank them. They're all the same game. They're just expansions. It'd be like me saying, "Oh, I like Lorenzo, and then I like this expansion with it, and
Why
this,
are you
or
even
Grand
talking to him
Austria."
about this?
Yeah.
Why did
So-
you even talk to him about this?
He's the one who started.
I know, but you got to stop now.
That's true. I will probably I'll just cut all. I'll
Okay,
definitely cut all that.
Do not dare! You cut this.
He was a Tim Robinson.
Do not.
The fact that you wrote it down.
I know. All that time.
Oh, I was talking to Dan while doing this. My number 6, Great Western Trail, an absolutely amazing game.
That's
no matter
actually- isn't that
what
low for him?
You play.
I feel
It
like
was-
that's low for him.
It was one higher last time.
Okay. All right. All right. Punch Bunch.
I don't even know what number are we on. 6.
I'm exhausted now. I need to take a nap.
The Punch Bunch, their favorite splotter, Food Chain Magnate.
All right.
Nice.
Which is fantastic.
Great pick. Great pick.
All right. Which I think we got quite a few picking up the new Lucky Duck version of that.
Oh yeah.
I thought I saw them talking about in the Discord.
Ugh, wow. All right.
There's a version now without the miniatures, which
There you go.
is just nicer art, which I can't. Except I still like the original board, but
Me too.
the actual art on the cards I think is nice. My number 5 is a game that Clef has talked about. I don't think Chad has talked about. Chad has had some rough plays of this, but he still enjoys them, and that is Dune for my number
Oh, wow.
5.
Super high for you.
Yeah,
that's great.
I love all the experiences that we've had with Dune, and this is one that I've played with Jessica's family as well, with my brother-in-laws. We've been able to get in some games.
Nice. Okay.
So yeah, I just had a fantastic time with it, and just that negotiation, alliances, backstabbing. It's all great.
First of all, I didn't play so poorly our last game.
No, you didn't.
And second of all,
You still lost, but you did.
and second of all, when you said Chad has had some rough plays, I had no idea what game you're talking about.
Chad's like calculating. This one. He did not have to ask for Chom Charity this time as the
That
Emperor.
is very
he
true,
did
yes.
much better this
You
time.
know, by the way, part of the reason that play was so bad was from the get-go was the first battle, and Richie was goading me to go all in, and I went all in,
I'm pretty sure I was trying to stop you from going all in.
and then they had the person that I was playing.
I think Jake had your traitor.
Yeah,
or
in
something,
the first battle, who does that? All right. Well, anyway, good pick. My number 5 is something that probably has to do with your New Year's resolution, and that's Gaia Project by Helen Ostertag and Jens Drogmuller and Capstoner Feuerland spiel. I still really like this game, and this, of course, is a pretty pure Euro too. But I just really like I like the way the map is laid out versus some of the other iterations of the game, and the way the interaction is and the tech tracks and stuff. That's my favorite sauce of Terra Project, or whatever you want to call it.
Sure. This used to be a former number one. I don't
It
know if
was a former number one. Yep.
It wasn't
no,
last year because
it wasn't last year. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, that's a great game. My number 5 taught this to Chad the other day, Richie, and didn't go.
Didn't it go well?
No,
It wasn't horrible. It just wasn't my kind of game.
France was struggling big time, and Chad was like, I don't think so. And that is, to me, just an absolutely amazing game, and that's Maria. It's 3 players, and each one has a faction that you're just trying to control different areas and get out your little chits, and the first one to do that wins the game. But the coolness of it is all gridded off in different, the 4 different suits, and you have these cards. And so when you go into battle, you'll just announce how many troops that you have, and then you play cards in which suit you are in. And then really the high number is the winner of the battle. And it just is very tactical. And I just played on New Year's Eve. Brent and Dan came over and we played a 3-player game of it. And it was so good because we are so familiar with it now. We were trying different things and, knowing, because remember, one thing you remember me telling you, Chad, was you don't want to lose a battle by more than 3. So sometimes you just need to give up on a battle and just try to lose it by a small amount, just 1 or 2. And so we're really good at that, where we're not letting anybody win like big battles necessarily. And so we actually made it all the way to year 3. I've still never gone all 4 years in the game. Never. Somebody has always won before then, which I'm just fine with. It makes, the game goes along. It's a fairly
So did you guys play it at 2, or did you have a 3rd?
You mean when we
When
played?
you-
Yeah,
when you taught
Dan taught it.
Oh, nice.
And it was good. I don't know. I don't see those things like map stuff like that in battles. I just don't see those things. I think it's an amazing system. Basically like trying to make sure your opponent just got short suited by the person that last fought them, so that you can move into a territory where you think they don't have those cards anymore is great. Maria was your number 18 last year, so it really moved up for you.
Big mover, so for sure. And I thought that was the case. And yeah, I'm ready to get it back to the table, and just played it the other day. So, yep.
Nice. Good.
All right.
All right. The Punch Bunch is their number 5. Clef, you want to start reading that list again?
Yes.
Don't do that. Great Western Trail. And I don't think we didn't talk about as far as combining stuff and as far as voting. I did not combine anything with Great Western Trail. And most people that voted just put Great Western Trail.
Good.
For the most part.
As I should have.
So that is the number 5. We'll talk about combining here in a bit.
I feel like that was a little bit higher last year.
It's a little low. It's down. It was number 3 last year.
Okay. So
Yep.
just a
hair,
smidge.
yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay, so on to our number 4. Number 4 for me, it's up 1 spot from last year, and that is Root. I've just always had great plays of Root. The more it definitely helps that we have such a strong group of Root players locally. Dan, Jake, even Mason. So
Corey too.
Corey, yep. So just being able to sit down with people and just play. Don't have to go through teachers for the most part when we have to play, even when Clef's at the table sometimes. Everyone knows how to play. We just sit down and we can just go. So that definitely helps. If you don't have that, I apologize for you, but we have that here. Move to Omaha, and you can play Root with any of us.
Any of the Punch Bunches welcome.
Yep.
Corey has a thing where if he wins with a faction, he will get a tattoo of it, which is real interesting. I mean, the good thing is, like, I don't like tattoos, and so but I'd never have to worry about that anyway. So, but yeah, I mean, it is a good game, and people are really into it around here.
Yeah. So that's my number 4.
All right, my number 4 is The Brass Eye, or Brass, by Martin Wallace and Roxley Games. Birmingham, Lancashire, either one, I will play it. I kind of have been playing a lot more of Lancashire lately. And it probably is higher on my list than the two of you because I've gotten less plays overall than you guys have. So I have not, I don't know if you can outplay this game, but I haven't had nearly as many plays, so I'm still happy to play it.
Yeah, I would say, definitely there was a peak of it.
Yeah, we were playing it a lot for a while. Yeah,
I think it has cooled. It's just outside my top 25 nowadays, and still a great game. Just other games that I'd rather play.
Yep.
So all right.
Classic Brass number 4.
All right. My number 4, and this is 100% I was just kind of talking to you guys about this earlier, but for me, when I play this type of game, I get the same feels no matter which coin game I play. So for me, my number 4 is coin. And if you'd like to know how I rank all my coins, head on over to our YouTube channel and you can watch my rankings right there. So I rank every one of them. But
I almost just blurted out your number 1 there for a second. But.
So I absolutely just every single one of them, I have some aspect that I enjoy of them. A couple of them, maybe, they're maybe not as high of wanting to play, but I'll still play them all. And like I said, I still get the same feel out of it. It's still, factions, and you have different win conditions, and, it has a card play mechanism, and I just absolutely love it. So my number 4 is coin.
That fell one spot. So, and his combining these, I'm okay with because it's nothing compared to his top 100 where he tries to compare No Thanks and Coloretto in this.
Oh, spoilers! No, actually, that'll be released already, so no spoilers.
How are you?
Hey, it's my list. I'll do what I want.
You combine those two?
Yeah.
They're both card games.
I know,
guess.
right? I was like, he goes, but they're both card games. They give you the same feel.
Can you do a list like you did with the Great Western Trail?
No, I cannot. I don't know. I'm going to be quite honest with you. I realized I think I forgot No Thanks. And I was like, God, I really should have No Thanks on here. So I was like, oh, it's kind of like, same size of box as Colorado.
Depends on what version of No Thanks you have.
It's true.
All right.
What are we on? Number 4?
Punch Bunch, yep.
All right. Number 4 for the Punch Bunch was number 4 last year. And that's Gaia Project, which we've talked about quite a bit already. So.
Gaia Project. Good guy. Yeah. Awesome.
All right. Up to our number 3 here. So number 3, new to the list.
Whoa.
I don't want to play it with you.
Ooh.
I don't want to play with you. I don't want to play with anybody. I just want to play it by myself, and that's Spirit Island. Wow. I don't want to play it with anybody else. And it was almost number 2.
When I think about it.
Wow.
I absolutely love this game.
My mind. That's
same here.
where Marvel Champion should be for Chad, but wow. Blows my mind.
Spirit Island. I'm as shocked as anyone else, but like I said, I don't want to play it with anybody else. I just want to play it by myself.
That's what Pub People told you. This is your number 3.
I can't disagree. Right now I finally got in the Nature Incarnate expansion, and that's all I want to do is go through those spirits and test them all out. So,
pretty soon be like, hey, Richie, you want to come over and play a game? Nope.
Nope.
It's going to be a normal Tuesday night. Nope.
But yeah, it's fantastic. If you're into solo games, the people that play it, I've seen people talking about they're playing it at 6 players. I think I'd rather go jump into traffic. I just want to play this by myself, maybe 2. But even 2 is sometimes too long. I enjoy the true solo, just one board, one spirit.
Wow.
And if you want to increase the difficulty, you start,
wow.
Going through the different scenarios.
I was about to say we could probably almost guess our top 3s at this point, but I would have never in a million years.
I'm not the wild card.
Wow.
So there you go.
So Spirit Island, my number 3, new to the list.
Wow.
Don't ask me to play with you.
Go you.
The answer's no.
All right.
Well, my number 3, we've talked about it a ton. It's Great Western Trail from Alexander Pfister, Edgar Spiel, and Plan B Games, whatever publisher you want to pick. And I would say I'll play them all. I'll totally play them all. I think I like New Zealand right now, maybe because it's the flavor of the month, but also I just like the way that the deck building goes with the cards and stuff. So, yeah, I dig it.
So it's good expansion. Good.
That's my number 3, Great Western Trail.
All right. My number 3 is, I think Chad mentioned earlier, and I think it was on the Punch Bunch, and that's Dominant Species. Just absolutely phenomenal game. I very much enjoy both Dominant Species and Dominant Species Marine. I like the meanness a little bit more in Dominant Species, but just great game. Just everything about them is just really good, and I love the interaction. So that's my number 3, Dominant Species.
Nice. This moved up 3 for you.
Okay, good.
Nice.
Yeah, good. Okay.
The Punch Bunch, their number 3 was their number 2 last year, and that is Brass Lancashire. And so this is when people submitted their list, we told them to keep everything separate. Brass is the only, as far as like different versions of the game, Lancashire and then Birmingham is the only one that made the list twice. So Brass Birmingham would have been number 4 as well. So it would have been number 3 and number 4, with Lancashire being a little bit higher. So I just pulled Birmingham from the list.
Okay.
But if you want the true Punch Bunch, top 25, Birmingham would have been 4. But we don't want that. We want some unique titles up there.
Right.
But Brass Lancashire is their favorite version of it, and it was at number 3.
Okay. Awesome.
Nice.
All right, number 2.
Woo! We are getting to the nitty gritty.
We're getting up there.
Okay.
So this one, like I said, it was close. Spirit Island almost ended up number 2. I got in and play recently with Philip and Brandon online of Food Chain Magnate, and it just reignited my love for it again, and had it maintain that number 2 spot. I love getting into all the different modules that you can play in there and mixing them up. This time we played the old milestones, but with the hard choices, and just doing that is just mixes it up enough where it just feels fresh again. And I don't know, I just love it. It's such a mean game, and it's just such a fun game. So Food Chain Magnate.
Nice.
Classic.
All right, Chad, you're number 2.
All right. Well, I've been saying I really like these experience games now, and no other game has really done it better for me in the past couple of years as Dune by Bill Everly.
Wow.
And Jack Kittredge.
Wild card still. I would not have picked that high for you.
Wow.
Yeah, I would totally play this.
I can't believe that I'm the lowest of the 3 of us. Dude, wow.
Yeah.
I got to rethink that.
I love the IP, first of all, right? Like I really like the IP, but then what the factions do. And honestly, the newest expansion feels like it's reinvigorated even more for me, because you get to start, there are certain factions that can enter the game that get to start making alliances earlier. And that's what I want this game for. Like I'm so much lately about team games and alliances and breaking partnerships and all that kind of stuff. And this game does that beautifully. And the quicker you can enter that, the better. So,
wow, that's awesome, Chad.
yeah.
That is
great game.
I'm
Yeah.
ready to play some Doom.
All right. All right. Well, that's my number 2. Dude.
All right. My number 2. I love this game. I mean, I absolutely love this game. And I love every one of the different maps.
Ooh.
I have created some maps, and I love this game. My number 2 is Age of Steam.
Wow.
For some reason, I thought that one of us would fall for it. One spot.
And it's not that it's fallen. It's perfect. It's a wonderful game, and I still enjoy it as much as I mean, I love playing the game. It's just my number 1 right now. There is just nothing else that I'm going to be honest with you. There's almost nothing else that I want to play, and we'll get to that here in a second. But so right now, I got to be honest. I got to go by the seat of my pants, and I got to say my number 2 is Age of Steam. And I'm sorry, because I'm assuming the Punch Bunch is probably still going to be number 1, and I'm going to throw it all off. But my number 2, Age of Steam.
I'm so confused what number 1's going to be now. Is it going to be like a like a 3-way tie between Imperial Steam, Boone Lake, and People Power? Like what?
Damn, you got me.
What the heck?
I don't know. Well, the Punch Bunch number 2,
Yes.
they're in lockstep with you.
Whoa!
Their number 2 was their number 1 last year,
They dropped also.
and that is Age of Steam.
I can say that. Punch Bunch. I keep saying how smart the Punch Bunch are.
Wow.
So for their number 1 is not going to be mine. So.
Yeah, probably not. And my number 1 was my number 1 last year, Age of Steam. Even though I didn't get to go to the con this year, but it's
No, you were missed.
You were definitely missed.
I missed it.
And you did not get a good substitute.
No, I didn't.
Although you
but at
did
least
hook you on Marvel Champions. So.
I discovered Marvel Champions, and if you're going to go to a bad con, Josh is the perfect person to go to a bad con. He'll bet, if you're going to bash a con together, Josh is he's a good one to do it with. Yeah,
He would get in there and bash it.
and then he's going to teach you how to get all the free stuff too.
yeah, exactly.
And roll better than you. So
Yes, he did roll very much better than me. So Age of Steam still my number 1.
All right.
Great pick. Yeah, I mean, this no game makes me more elated or more depressed when I play it poorly. But that is Age of Steam, my number 1 as well. It's a great game. There's a reason there's a convention. I'm all about trying all the new maps. If I had more people around me in Omaha nearby that would come to my house and play Age of Steam, I'd be a happy camper. So,
All right, Richie, stop looking over at the
I'm trying to
games.
figure it out.
There's just no question. This game right now and the gospel that has been spoken.
Oh yeah. You haven't
by
said this
Joe and Jake is just so true. Right now, and I was going to tell you, here's what you have to do.
yet. Mm-hmm.
You have to teach the game. Okay. I understand you're going to be, well, I don't understand it. But the thing is, is you have to teach it, or at least have somebody willing to work with you while you're trying to teach it and learn it. And you also need to call Joe Farrell 15 times while you're trying to teach it. Okay. And the game that I'm speaking of is PAX Renaissance. It is the most perfect game that I think I've ever played. It's just so well done. It has interaction. It has, somewhat negotiation, but just the card play. It doesn't overstay its welcome. It can be literally a 15-minute game, or you could have an hour and a half game.
Mm-hmm.
It just is absolutely just a perfect game to me right now. And I'm not kidding when I say right now, that is the game that I want to play over every single game. That's anytime somebody says to me, what do you want to play? PAX Ren is my number 1 choice.
Wow. I thought for some reason I was thinking you had already even said it. This was 15 last year for you. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you can see a little twinkle in his eye when you play with him. I got in to play with him and Joe not too long ago, and that's what sparked my interest to go back and reread the rules. And then luckily they added it to BGA, so I can get it back in quickly.
I'm really excited the
So-
fact that it's on there, not for me to play it, but it's going to help a lot of people be able to understand it
Yes.
and kind of play it. But I'll be honest, the first 15 times I played this game, I didn't even understand, like a Holy War, forget about it. I didn't understand how to do a Holy
I
War
still don't
victory at
understand
all.
that.
But now that I've gotten to the point of where now, like Ryan and I just sat down and we just worked together, and that really was like, oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. And like I said, really helps to be able to just text Joe and say, hey, what is the answer here?
Yep.
But I feel fairly confident. There's still one of cases or edge cases that I'd still be like, I'm not 100%, but I love it. I'm not kidding you right now. That's all I want to play is PAX Ren. So I had to be true and say, if I'm picking a number 1 game right now, it's PAX Ren.
wow.
So, hey, we all had like a curveball there.
Yeah,
a little bit,
at the end, yeah.
Clef's gonna be like Joe's new best buddy now.
I know.
Joe is my best buddy.
Good. That's good stuff.
All right.
All right. So the Punch Bunch.
Oh,
No, we got the Punch Bunch.
What's the Punch Bunch number 1?
Yeah.
So the Punch Bunch was their number 5
Oh.
last year.
Wow.
Okay.
Hold on. What have we not heard?
One of your
Let's
favorites.
think, Chad. Let's think here.
I mean, I can't remember where
I would say
Terraforming
it's
Mars
so obviously we see a lot of people, looking for people to play PAX Ren. on the Discord, and this would be the game that you see also a lot of people saying, I'm looking for players for this game. On BGA.
I don't know, because I don't...
you don't like to play it anymore, just 2-player. Because you always get crushed by the person who plays it with you.
Oh, Barrage.
Yeah. Barrage.
Oh, wow, that's number one.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it.
Okay, good job. Punch Bunch. That's a good list.
Yeah. It is a good list.
Yeah, the Punch Bunch, and we'll throw them in there. And also someone, I'm blanking on name. I'm bad with Discord names, but I know someone who has gone through it, and they're working their way back through all of our episodes, and they've been putting up our picks from that. But they also have our, like, the Punch Bunches pick from last year.
Nice.
Then we'll have this information up there as well. But yeah, you pick any game off that list, you're gonna be happy. So
that's a great list.
Yeah,
good job, Punch Bunch.
100%. So, good job to you guys. I mean, it's a good list you guys got there.
Everyone's got a good list.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Some surprises. Spirit, that's got to be the big one.
That's crazy. That's
Spirit
crazy.
Island out
Number
of nowhere.
3.
Almost number 2. Almost number 2. He said.
It was almost number 2.
Wow.
It was close.
All right.
Well, we should talk real quick. I know it's a long episode, but we should talk real quick about New Year's resolutions. So it's going to clean the plate. We said we would. I will first fill you in on mine. Mine was it 10 or 12?
12 games.
12, yep.
Didn't come close.
I came close. No, I did come close.
You didn't come close.
Even after I had to pick Maximum Carnage as
you were
2
pretty
games.
much like talking like it was over like 4 months in. You were like, it's not gonna. I gotta buy this. I gotta buy this.
It'll be tough, but Ticket to Ride put me over, and then so the last December, I was like,
You were like, what again?
yeah, the legacy version of Ticket to Ride, basically. So.
Okay. So what do you got for 2024?
My 2024 is actually and this, you may not think that this is a big thing, because a lot of people do the 10 by 10s, but having this podcast, it makes it difficult to do that kind of stuff, 10 by 10s. So my new thing is to play my top 30.
Okay.
My top 30 2 times each. So not a lot, but it's still a challenge that is achievable for me.
That's tougher than you think it is.
You've got a bunch of 18XX on there for one thing.
Oh, it was 3 18XXs, right? You didn't name another one, so it was right. 3. Yep. So okay.
So an idea that like La Granja was in my top 30. So that's one you were asking that just missed. So anyway, Moo is on there too, because I want more plays of Moo. Like the 5-player team version of Moo is that card game. That is that if I had more plays, I think that could be one of my favorite trick.
Do you have the actual Moo card game?
I just use the Steakom deck.
If anybody had actually had the game. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my new.
It's a good one. That's tougher than you maybe think, but it was good. So. Real quick here, Richie, before we get to yours, I just noticed you did a top 25, and former number 1 was nowhere to be seen.
No, Lorenzo, I'd have to pull up my full list. It's in the 30s somewhere, but it's not. I have not played it in a while.
Mm-hmm. They got a really good online version that you can play of it.
No, they don't. They really don't.
It was so bad.
That was a bad app.
Like the worst.
And they updated it several times, and I feel like it got worse. But, that is one that I wouldn't mind getting that back to the table here soon with the expansion.
It was number 19 for you last
year. Yeah. So it was already starting to drop.
Yeah.
Okay. Yep.
Was there anything else that surprised anybody? Sorry, I didn't mean to stop your resolutions, but was there any other game that anybody surprised that they didn't hear? I just was thinking about that.
No.
I
know you used to. Did you not say Arkwright?
I did.
You did not.
I'll get a little. Well, it's not a spoiler because hopefully 26.
Okay, gotcha.
26.
Ooh, right there.
Right there.
I also did not hear from anybody, I don't think, Wildcatters, did I?
Oh, yeah, no.
No, I don't think you did.
Hear Wildcatters.
Very 20s, I believe it's in somewhere in the 26 to 30 range, I do believe, if I'm not mistaken. So still great game, just,
that's what you
hard to get to the table because I haven't played it for a while. So.
And
Woodcraft,
4 players.
Did Woodcraft make your top 100?
I did.
Okay, all right.
It did.
That video's out, actually.
Is that video out already?
That one's yeah. So I mean, yeah, it's just in the 90s, but
yeah, no, I was curious.
Yeah, for the puzzle type of a game it is, I enjoy it. So all right, sorry. So Richie, what was your resolution?
I'm pretty sure my resolution last year was that because normally Jessica's my number one gamer basically, and then it's usually Clef, and then usually Chad. But Knox, obviously, he's been coming online. So I think my goal last year was to make sure that Knox was above Clef.
Oh, and did that happen?
That did happen.
Nice.
Knox was above Jessica.
Wow.
So I accomplished that. This year, I don't want to play as many new games. I'm kind of in that. We were talking about this on Discord. I'm just right now. It's not that I'm against playing new games. I don't want to go no more do I want to just buy a bunch of games and be the first one to try them. I would much rather one of you two try them, especially, I mean, Clef loves trying out new games. So I want Clef just to bring me the good ones. I don't want to go through the sea of mediocre games.
I got you, buddy.
I would rather just play games that I like. So I do have because I want to get better at Gaia Project. The expansion's coming out this year. So I do have a 1x365 of Gaia Project that I started. So
You're going to play that 365 times?
365 times. That's the plan.
God. Wow. Wow.
Clef is shaking his head.
I want to, at the end of this, if it happens, I can't wait for this monster, a ring, and then Joe Farrell in one corner and Richie in the other.
Ooh,
right? A Gaia Project.
It won't even, no. Joe has ascended. He's not on this plane.
Hey, I don't care about winning games, but the other night,
Joe was playing a faction that he knows doesn't win that much. But yes, you did beat him.
I won. I don't care.
I
don't care if I had the best faction and he had the worst one. I'm taking it to the bank. I may never play Gaia Project again.
He was kind of playing with his food, I feel like, a little bit.
We'll see what happens here. Gotta give Clef a win every once in a while. All right, so that's an impressive one.
We'll see if I can get it done.
Wow. So, I'm going to be honest with you. I have no idea what I had for last year.
Well, I think yours was to play more with Missy, I thought.
Yours, you're already doing. It's to make more videos on YouTube.
Was that mine?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yay me.
No, I meant for next year. That's what
okay. My resolution is going to be, and I am stealing this 100% because Brockman said this to me the other night, and I'm just going to flat steal his, which is going to be fine because we're going to do it together. I am going to I am going to play every single PAX game this year. So
nice.
We're going to play PAX Transhumanity. We're going to
cool. I'm in.
I don't know how we're going to find PAX Emancipation, but we're going to play that one.
I used to have it.
So we're going to play Porphyrion.
So does that count like PAX Premier First Edition and like?
I don't know if I'll count PAX Premier First Edition because I don't know how easy that is to get a hold of. But we'll try. We'll try. Right. And when I say play, I mean I would like to play and be able to understand the game. So. Which could be kind of hard with transhumanity, sure. I don't know anything.
I think now that you've gotten Renaissance under the belt, that I think any of the other ones should be achievable.
I don't know. Remember when transhumanity? I mean, me and you were like,
I think Emancipation might be the hardest one.
Yeah, I tried to read
kind of opaque.
That was tough. It was tough.
So that is the goal, is to play all the PAX games.
Make sure when Porphyriana hits the table that you.
Yeah, I went in on that one as well.
All right. That's no problem. All right. Cool. Sounds good. By the way, can I borrow Transhumanity? I promise still to play with you if I learn how to play it. So, all right, there we go. Wow. This is a quick episode, isn't it?
Yeah.
And real quick, I'll throw it out there. Don't forget, PPCon, it is a coming. It is a coming and a rolling. And I'm not kidding you, very, very few rooms left. I mean, I'm talking probably 8 rooms left at this point. So if you want in, don't hesitate, get in there, or at least shoot me an email or a DM or whatever and let me know, because I don't know if I can get more rooms or not. I'm going to be honest with you. I've never had to get to that point yet. So if you want a room, get in there and get it now. And more to come on that.
Still can get weekend passes though. So.
This is only talking about people who want to stay at the facility and enjoy themselves a sausage waffle, So
All right. Well, Punch Bunch, thanks for contributing. We love having you as members. Hope that we wish the best for you in this sparkling new year, and take care of yourselves. Please take care of each other.
All right, everybody. Have a good night.
Thanks for listening.
Punchboard Paradise would like to thank our loyal listeners as well as the publishers and designers that have provided review copies. You can find us at punchboardparadise@gmail.com. You can find us on Twitter @punchboarders. We are on Instagram @punchboardparadise and Facebook @punchboardparadise.